Let me move my crutches. No. What a disaster. Oh, pick that. Yes! Go, 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 go! Okay. All right. Well, it's like a baby Band-Aid on a massive gaping open wound. But, and we'll take it. It's something going into halftime. Take a knee here, regroup, figure out why we look absolutely abysmal. We look completely unprepared, but it's not even that. It's the lack of inspiration to do literally anything productive. The predictability is just it's mind blowing. Spencer Sanders is either hammered drunk or he got caught up in some of that Alex Kate film. Oh man. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. Goodness me. Oh. It's halftime. Yeah, no, it's fine. Oh my God. Turn this down. Yeah, this is a mess. OU came into this game averaging 216 yards rushing to around 214 yards passing. Their game plan for this one it's pretty impressive. I mean, it doesn't excuse our lack of ability to be prepared. But again, it's less about the preparation and more about the motivation, I guess. Like you can literally count if you can count 5 or 6 times that your defense is literally stationary, not moving a muscle while the ball is being snapped. There's some deeper problems there than just not being prepared. Yeah, I think the most difficult part is the fact that this is the third time this season we've had to say that this is the worst game we've played all year. And not only that, all year, we haven't looked this bad since 2005, 2004, 1994. It's just it's a tough pill to swallow. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't get it. The play calling is obviously, not getting it done, and we don't necessarily look like we're ready to do a whole lot to fix it, which clearly is a problem. What a mess. What a mess. Let's see here. I'll just keep taking notes. Let's see about all the stats. What a disaster. Well, there's nobody on yet. So I'm just trying to find some sort of justification for what is happening at this very moment. And it's completely inexcusable, right? I think nobody really wants to be that person that is all about, somebody needs to be fired. But there's Stephon Johnson Jr.'s dad actually put out a really, really cool post earlier today. And it was in regards to like 13 classifications or qualifications, if you will, that make a program successful. And the irony of the post was that Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State fit probably 12 of the 13 categories that it takes to make a program extremely successful. And the one area that Mike Gundy clearly struggles in the 13 that are necessary to make a program successful is holding coaches accountable. And when you're holding coaches accountable, it's not just talking about the OC and the DC and whoever. You have to hold yourself accountable. Our guys look like they give zero craps about this game even taking place. Like, I have not seen us this uninspired since KU, and before KU, it was K-State. And that's the issue. Yeah, the play calling obviously is a massive problem. I don't always think it's done right. I think it's historically evident that it's not always offense coordinator, but the offensive coordinator in this situation, yeah, you got to do something different. We should have come into this game with some sort of ulterior plan, right? We weren't going to be able to shove it down their throat the entire game. That wasn't going to happen. But we've completely abandoned the run in running situations. And then we have this massive obsession right now with rolling out right over and over and over. Now, when Spencer Sanders is a freshman, or you have a sophomore quarterback even, that's kind of something that you see, especially a running quarterback. If you get them out on the edge, typically it makes them more comfortable, so they have more time to make more plays. But when you're a senior, right, and you have a COVID year optional and available to you, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. It's inexcusable. It's absolutely inexcusable. So I don't really know which side of the ball needs to make massive changes, but yeah, something has to be done. Well, the funny part about the offense is Casey Dunn's going to be gone anyways, right? You knew last year Casey Dunn wasn't the biggest fan of Coach Dickey coming back. And again, it's an accountability thing, which is literally what we were just talking about, right? That list of 13 classifications to be a productive force moving forward. The fact that we cannot hold our coaches accountable has been an ongoing issue. And then when we do hold coaches accountable, it's like they get an asterisk because they're coaches that we found from Shippensburg University or Shippensburg State. And I think that's the downside of what Gundy does, especially in the hiring department, is the praise is warranted to some degree, but the fact that, he recruits primarily for control purposes is always going to be a little bit of an issue. So whether Casey Dunn returns next year or not, I don't necessarily think that our philosophy changes. And that's the underlying issue, right? In my personal opinion, if you can't make the adjustments in the hiring department to at least let people do their job, like what's the point of paying people $700,000, $800,000, $1.2 million a year to not produce? And then on top of that, not take accountability for it, right? I'm not all up in arms because the offense can get going, right? It's been proven this season, right? Coming into this game as inept as our offense has been recently, it's still been top 3 in the Big 12 in production. So again, we have this, track record of proving. Yeah, well, the funny part about the flags, if Blitz comes, not Sanders. Yeah, I think Spencer Sanders is okay with getting hurt. I think that's not necessarily a good thing, and it sounds bad. It's not a bad thing, right? The dude's a gamer. He's going to play. He's going to give it his all the entire game. It doesn't really matter because Spencer Sanders is willing to put that kind of work in. But again, this game film, or this Alex Kate film that he must have watched to get prepared for this game, is what's mind blowing. And the sad part is we don't have a Brandon Whedon waiting in the wings to step in and save us this time. right? I think that's the scary part is, Garrett Rangel is going to be pretty good. I think you can see in his appearance that this season that he throws very, very well. Gunnar Gundy, he dropped that one dime. And you got to think about it. Gunnar Gundy got put in a really bad position against the best defense in the Big 12 and one of the top 10 defenses, at least top 15 in the country in a multitude of categories. So Gunnar Gundy really got the worst end of the rap when it came to what game you get to start. Like, oh, congratulations, you get thrust out to play this game. So, I don't think the cupboard is bare per se at the quarterback position, but I don't know who is getting everybody prepared. I think regardless of what happens, right, whether you think people should or shouldn't be fired, there's no way that somebody like Tim Rattay can be retained when Spencer Sanders has hardly progressed throughout the entirety of the time they've been together. When you're with the same coach for literally years, you should have some stuff down by now. And I'd actually heard stuff about Rattay joking to some degree at like camps and saying that he doesn't know how to coach a quarterback over 6'2" or something to that effect. So I know that the perception of Tim Rattay on a Southern recruiting basis isn't all that great. Well, the problem with the wide receivers, other than, injuries haven't been too terribly bad. The Spencer Sanders injury, it's hard to say if it was not overplayed. But everybody, Gundy himself coming into this game said that he felt that Spencer Sanders was at least 85% physically healthy for this game. Now, that number was very surprising given the difficulties that we know Spencer Sanders has had all season, and which is why he's missed multiple weeks of practice multiple times. So even though this whole thing is inexcusable, and the injury does play a minor part coming into this game, the injury was not supposed to be an issue. And Spencer actually practiced all week. So, yeah, the 54 yards rushing is right. If you knew coming into the game that we had to establish one primary thing, it was rushing. Why did we come in with the same exact game plan that we've had for the last 3 years? Gundy's even mentioned that we don't really change a lot. We do a lot of the same things on a year-to-year basis. So the accountability that it can provide is a good thing. Then why do we have a system predicated upon basically accountability, like keeping everything as simplistic as possible, so that way we can maximize production on not only players, but potential coaches coming in, but then in the same token, not hold other coaches accountable? Like, how can you continue to retain staff if you consistently have coaches that don't live up to their end of the bargain? If your offensive coordinator says before the season, hey, coach, I think we should make a move at offensive line coach because it's just not happening. And then Gundy overrides, done, and we retain Dickey, and then this is the product we get on the field. Sometimes Gundy uses it as too much of an excuse, right? The whole thing of Spencer Sanders can't play effectively, nor can any other quarterback in the country without successful offensive line play. O-line play is clearly massively beneficial. But our pass pro is not always the worst. It's our run blocking. We cannot get to the second level. If you can get an additional hat up to the second level on either one of the linebackers, or even if you're facing a 4-3 defense and you can get at least one of the three linebackers blocked, what does that do? It numerically gives you an advantage, especially when you have a rushing quarterback. We're not taking advantage of these scenarios with said rushing quarterback. And again, to me, that is the biggest frustration. Jason Taylor is the best player on defense. Yes. Okay. So if you watch all of the film, there's been a couple times this season, primarily Kansas State, those two games, there are quite a few occasions that he got himself out of position and he got himself walled off from being able to make the play. And not all the time it had anything to do with contain. So although he probably is the best player on defense, I think Kendall Daniels is going to give him a run for his money there. Just talent perspective, Kendall Daniels has something that you don't see a lot come through Stillwater, right? Let's just be fair. Jason Taylor, when he decides that he's going to play at 174 miles an hour, you're right. He is absolutely, hands down, the best player on defense in the secondary for sure. I still feel like Colin Oliver is just scratching the surface of what he can do. It's funny we mentioned that. I thought Nathan Latu was going to have a hand in this game, and he has. I didn't know it would be from a penalty perspective, but this thing it's just spiraled out of control, right? But when you're putting up 164 yards total in a half against anybody, that's literally a recipe for disaster. You don't give yourself the ability to come back. So we could have capitalized right there at the very end. We could have scored and then got the ball right after halftime. And just the play calling was so predictable that we canceled out any opportunity that we could have had. And again, that's to me the difficulty with this season. I don't get it. How we can be this talented and this uninspired. I think that's the biggest word of the day thus far for me is we're not playing like we're playing for anything. We're playing like we're up 28-0. And again, it's completely inexcusable, right? So is anybody other than Timurte on the hot seat for this one? Like, obviously, I want to hear your opinion too. There's a few positions to me that it does not make sense to continue to have these people represent the university. And to me, that's Coach Dickey on the offensive line. That's Coach McIndoe, tight end coach, and clearly Timurte. Now, if Spencer Sanders does come back for next season, that could change things. And I don't think this game, it should be a hindrance upon whether Spencer comes back. What are the excitement level is there for him coming back or not? Because this is probably the worst performance we've ever seen from Spencer Sanders. Even dating back to when he was a freshman, he didn't play this bad. Like, this is uncharacteristically terrible. This is worse than the Big 12 title game. And it's odd because, again, he practiced the entire week, and we were told that he was at least 85% healthy and ready for this game. But it doesn't appear that way. Like, would you legitimately think that if Gary Rangel or Gunnar Gundy were in the game for the entirety of the first half, if the game would look a whole lot different? I don't at all. I don't think that at all. I don't think there's any way that you could say that we could even pretend that Gary Rangel or Gunnar Gundy would look this inept. And again, I don't think it's we're obviously unprepared, but to me, that's not the biggest key. It's the little decisions, right? Like not putting yourself in a position to at least score and take a little bit of momentum going into halftime. We had that opportunity. And when you miss out on that, it's really hard to recover. I mean, heck, we were already so far down in the hole, it was going to be hard to recover anyways. But yeah, so to me, that is a legitimate question. I'm going to ask that question. Let's see. Would Gunnar or there we go. Fire a question out. So yeah, that's the question. Would you think Gary and Gill or even Gunnar Gundy would look worse in this game than Spencer Sanders looks at the very moment? Because I don't get it. I don't understand how Spencer Sanders doesn't even look like he's prepared to play. That's the exhausting part of the entirety of this conversation. But hopefully we can do something in the second half. Surely we can do something in the second half, right?
Did you get your PayPal link put up?
I did not. Oh, it's all right. It's not that big of a deal. Oh. I don't mind helping you do it a little bit later on. Well, here we come back into the second half. Let's see. What are the keys coming into the second half? Well, I think creativity. And, there's a few things that we got to give OU credit for in this one, right? Other than the just preparedness. You can't really replicate missed tackles, or the only way that you replicate this number of missed tackles is just by not being fundamentally sound, right? That's probably the hardest pill to swallow from last year to this year. Is last year we were completely fundamentally sound all the way across the board. Yeah, so next year it better look different, but we do have a lot returning next season. And again, I don't think this game should be indicative of whether you want Spencer Sanders back or not. You've got to score. Oh, goodness me, do we have to score? Yeah, if anything else, we got to at least just make this thing respectable. Right? Oh, goodness me. All right. We'll see what the adjustments are. I hope that there's got to be some packaging that we've gone over this season that just is completely flip the script, right? So this is what our plan was. Well, let's take this plan from 2 years ago. I guess it's hard to do. Well, no, we can do that on offense. Casey Dunn's been here forever and a day. Dickey's been here a while. McAdoo's been in a while. The coaches that can't produce today, or guys, this is the hard part. This is the third time we've had to say this is the worst performance since 2005, 1994, 2004. These performances were some of the worst in our lifetimes, for sure. And this is up there with that. Okay, so we threw it behind line scrimmage. Now we're 2nd and 11. Handoff. No, he kept it. Go Spencer. Okay, 5-6 yard run. Not bad. We don't look like we're using a whole lot of vision to see the field, including Spencer. Our D-line hasn't been getting pushed. Yeah. Our O-line's got to do something, right? Spencer drops back. It's rolling out right again. Just off the bat. It's like we don't even have a play designed, but Spencer's taking the ball from shotgun and just boom, immediately rolling right. This is the stuff you do when you're a freshman, right? When you're getting the happy feet and you can't stand in the pocket long enough. It's like he has some kind of massive secret concussion that don't nobody know about. Decision-making process here is just the worst. Decent, not a great punt. It's sad when you lose your punter and you have to consider it a huge weapon. So the first drive coming out of the half was terrible. Every single opportunity we've had to gain some sort of momentum, we just kind of let it go. So let's watch the defense here. Another turnover would be more than nice. It would be more than nice. Oh, we missed we missed a sack. Oh my goodness gracious. He was dead on target. Is that Xavier Benson again? Yeah, guys. Oh, his angles he takes. This, I thought that's why we were seeing we lost contain. I thought that's why we were seeing a little bit more of Nicholas Martin, because of that. Just the uninspired part of the game is wild. Here we go. 2nd 5. Good play. Oh, we dropped the ball. Not the greatest pass in the world. We were closing, so we probably would have shut it down. Would have been 3rd and 3, even if he'd have caught it. Dylan Gabriel looks very, very prepared. And he's got a COVID year too. So you could see a repeat of Spencer Sanders and Dylan Gabriel next season. I can't believe I can. But the fact that Jeff Levy showed out for this game, what a grab. Marvin Mims, Dylan Gabriel rolling out. Oh, we got a flag. I didn't even see where it was. Hopefully it's in the area of holding. Oh, thank goodness. Yay. Holding. Woo! Big play, baby. How's about that for one of the top plays of the day? We got a nice little holding penalty. Who is that? Colin Oliver. Thank goodness. We almost lost contain again there, though. I did not expect our defense to be this undisciplined. I didn't. Maybe I drank too much of the orange Kool-Aid. And it does. It kind of stinks to immerse yourself. Okay, it was decent D by Corey Black. I don't know why we're talking crap. Yeah, I always wondered about, he just got away with a little bit of an outside shoulder grab. We knew Corey Black was going to be important. All right, BP, take this thing back here. Just give us a little bit of an extra spark. We're going for the block. Didn't get it. We got a fair catch. Pretty good. Oh, goodness. Get there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, they downed it on the 3-yard line. When it rains, it pours. But, hey, we like our kickers too. And let's face it, guys, we're only 9 field goals short of pulling out this dub. Shoot, Tanner Brown's got 9 field goals in him in his sleep, guys. He kicked 9 field goals with both feet because he knew going into this game, they were like, hey, bud, we're going to field goal the tar out of this game, and that's how we're going to win it. We're going to field goal our way to a dub. It's something. It's some kind of special, but it was a really good punt. I'll give him that. So now we get to go, just like 90, 96 yards, 97 yards. No big deal. We've got, all kidding aside, we do have the weapons. It does really, really hurt, I think, not having somebody like a Stephon Johnson Jr. I don't know if you heard, but he banged up his ankle pretty good. So he unfortunately, obviously, is not ready to go for this one. At the beginning of the game, the force feeding the ball to Jaden Bray, I thought it was a decent idea, right, to try to get that thing going. that connection. But again, it's like how do we beat a dead horse over and over and over? And it's like, okay, so what the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And, it just, this game, I feel like it gives everybody a reason to at least have conversations. At least it's fair to, again, ask questions, because after the K-State game, after the KU game, it's like, if you're part of the fan base that approaches things from, how do I put this somewhat PC? I don't know. It's like you got to tiptoe through the tulips with some of the opinions that you have. Like, how dare you have some factual or statistical information that backs, the inability to produce and be successful at production at a major point in time. It's hard to stomach, right? It's really hard to even deal with. But again, I think if we could make this thing respectable, I take it. Like, it's not a complete beatdown. They blitzed on the goal line. Almost threw another pick. Again, Spencer Sanders, this is the worst I've ever seen him play. I mean, I think that I can probably dig back statistically to 2018, 2019 maybe, and see performance close. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know if I can find a worse performance for Spencer. Who's that? Ollie Gordon with a decent run. So on 2nd and 10, he gets 4 or 5 yards. So 3rd and 5. So, okay, let's see. Predictability-wise, we're going 4 wide, 1 back. We're going to look for some sort of crossing route. Please don't throw another screen. This is a terrible spot on the field for a screen. Yeah, you got to do some sort of rub route here with the 2 slots. Nope, we're going out routes. And and an in route. Go, get upfield. Come on, Braden. Come on, run him, outrun him. Okay, we'll take it. That's a good play. We could do it. We can move the ball. I know this is, probably obviously way out there and left field, but now we need some turnovers. But we better score. We better score quick. We have to seize any amount of momentum. Here we go, dropping back. 1st and 10, midfield. Spencer rolling right. Good throw. JPR. Good job, John Paul Richardson. So now we're already in full field goal range, which is the second time we've got down there and had a decent drive, kind of like this. Last time Spencer threw an interception rolling left and kind of throw it against his body on the other side of the field. So there again, it's another situation where he gets into his comfort zone and he rolls out right. It worked out that time because OU lost contain with their D-line. But again, if they don't lose contain there, that's a difficult proposition for Spencer to be able to roll out and make that play. Oh, really? All right. I'll get you. I'm thirsty as I'll get out. Gracias. And I need my addictive gummy bears. I am very, very addicted to gummies. That is my vice. I save them for up here in the studio. I love it. Absolutely love it. Gotta find ways to spice up this night, huh? So we score here. Again, it's at least respectable, right? It's funny. I think we're probably approaching over half of our entire first half production for sure. Almost half of our entire first half production right here on this drive. And it's just the time. Do we have the amount of time necessary to make a real go of it? Because even against Notre Dame, there was a tight window, but we came out of halftime into the second half pretty daggone prepared. And our defense, especially, that's the thing that I think we missed the most is Jim Knowles' ability to prepare in the second half. It's phenomenal. It really is. And the crazy part for me is like I don't think that I know Derek Mason's not a bad coach, right? I'll just put it that way. With this amount of talent, though, should this look like this? And the answer is absolutely not. There's no way that this is justifiable. But I'm not just talking about Derek Mason. The game plan that OU had coming out for the first half was masterful. And again, my favorite part about that entire first half from any perspective, just the game of football alone dictates that I love the fact that they come out and they're putting their foot on the throat, right? Which is the thing that we fail to do. The thing that we never do enough of is just put a game away. Put your foot on somebody's throat and in the game. Unfortunately, that's, again, something that we don't do. And OU did a lot of that in the first half. Even that turnover, or, that it was them trying to press the issue. I'm telling you till I'm blue in the face, if we would take that approach in Stillwater, our Bedlam record would not be 3-14. Regardless of like this game. It's just this type of performance is the type of performance that's necessary for people, fan staff, everybody to be at least somewhat realistic with the understanding that this is, oh my Lanta, unacceptable. We just lost like 30 yards. I was okay. I'm being sarcastic. It's like 20 yards. I don't know what that was. Tried to get cute. Yeah, we tried to do like a shovel shift forward pass. That was a mess. How does it say 3rd and 8? That ball bounced forever. Okay. Got lucky there. We're lucky it's only 3rd and 8. Looked like it could be 3rd and 18. Yeah, that was just a disastrous attempt where they're showing full out blitz. And they're coming. And we dump it off for 5 yards. Hey, you're down by 1 million. Let's run a route that's 3 yards short of the sticks on 3rd down. Huh? Even if you were fully prepared for this to be 4 down territory, which it is, 4th and 2 from 17. Come on, Cowboys! You gotta make something happen here. A slant route Right on the sticks. What are we doing? Two routes in a row where we did not even get close to the line to gain. Like you learn as a receiver in junior high school to get past the line to gain on your route. Like, do not run a 9-yard curl or a 10-yard curl if there's 12 yards to go. Yeah, let's look short before they even pull the chain. What a mess. Yeah, not even close. Again, play calling. What are they at? They're in press coverage. Press coverage, taking away the inside release. So instead of running a real slant, Braden Johnson cuts his route off at 1 yard. He did not push up on the cornerback in any capacity. Again, this is you learn route running techniques like this when you're a daggone child. Yet we've got NIL era, senior and junior and super senior wide receivers that forgot that to get a first down, you got to run your route past the line to gain. Something's off. D-line looks a little inspired this drive. Oh, no, we're just going to let a big hole open. See, you right there. They pulled right tackle and right guard and led with another running back. Again, just they're being even somewhat creative. Like you don't have to, what do you call it? Paint a Rembrandt. It's just do things that are not insanely predictable, just like what OU was doing. They're not running the same type of plays over and over and over. They're mixing it up. They're going to both sides of the field. Same thing KU did against us, right? They had plays going both ways. OU's not exactly doing that, but they did it again. They pulled 1, 2, guard, tackle, and another run back. Again, so they're pulling a guard and a tackle and leading with an additional running back or fullback to the opposite side of the field. That's 2 plays in a row. Same exact play. Now we got, oh no. Is that Clay? Looks like Colin Clay's down. Yep, big time defensive tackle. What an abysmal performance. Yeah, I'm not worried about how many people. I said I was going live. I'm going live. It is what it is. We just. What I would give to basically be a fly on the wall, as they say. And I just want to hear what's going on in the headset. Because if Casey Dunn is this bad or inept, then he has to go. Again, unfortunately, we've seen historically that Gundy does override quite often, but if he's not involved in anything other than override, then yeah, we've got to hold coaches accountable. Again, that's the biggest thing that we've missed for this entire season is the accountability factor. But man, it's hard to keep it, all bottled up for this is just again inexcusable is the only accurate word in diction I can find. You can't have this happen. Like this is a joke. The third time in one season, I'll say it again, third time in one season that we have to say, oh, geez, we haven't looked this bad since 2005 or even further back. And then you look at the sidelines and nobody really looks concerned. Like if you look at the body language on our sideline, including our head man, they act like we're up by 30. Like if you just looked at the sidelines, you would have no clue that we were losing this game. If you were just to go off the play calling alone, you would have no clue that we're losing this game. To me, it's comical. But it is what it is. What are you gonna do? That's crazy. Well, I guess if people ain't gonna jump in, I'll probably skedaddle on off of here. All right, good rush, good blitz, good job. Oh, you has to punt. 8:33 left. We got to score quick. Mason Cobb that's good. That was a good job. Good job, Mason Cobb. Maybe we should just go Wildcat the rest of the game. Huh? A little bit of Wildcat action? Why not? Why not? Win in Rome. Do as Gundy would do. We should maybe we'll fool them. We'll put our punter at QB. They ain't ready for that. Has there ever been another number 69 quarterback? I don't know. I would highly, highly expect that not to be the case. But they had some funky numbers back in the day. Heck, Bob Finnemore was a quarterback, running back, kicker, and he was number 55. So, yeah, back in the day, there was some crazy stuff. I remember one year I was coaching football, and I had a kid ask me for number 77 in baseball. I thought it was the craziest thing I've ever heard. And the funny part about it is I gave the kid a hard time. But then I was like, you know what, dude? If you want number 77, it is what it is. You do you, boo-boo. And so I get the kid number 77, and his mom comes up to me and she says, why did you let my son wear number 77 for baseball? Hey, when in Rome, you gotta do as Gundy does. So here we are, a chance again. I mean, with 8:33 left, there's like a slim possibility we can jump in still and do something here. Again, at least make it respectable. At this point in time, it's more about finding a way to just come back and start swinging, like start punching them in the throat repeatedly over and over and over and over. I mean, metaphorically, of course, but you got to do something. And again, if you lose, but you make it respectable, right? You come back in the end and you put up a fight to where they at least physically know they were in a hell of a ball game. Because this so far, it looks like we've come out with a pillow fight plan. Instead of Fight Club, we got Pillow Fight Club happening in Norman, Oklahoma. Why is got lucky. That punter almost pinned another one within the 5 on us. Yeah, I really wish we had Tom Hutton. Or do I? I don't know. If we had Tom Hutton, maybe we'd be punting even more. No matter what happens on this drive, I don't care what side of the field you're on, unless we're backed up at our own 25. This has to be a 4-down territory drive all the way down the field. So this is, again, this is twice now that we've squandered massive opportunities, and 2 times it's not a good number. It's not good when you only have 2 big time red zone opportunities and you squander both of them. So here we go, handoff up the middle. All right, gain of maybe 1 on a run up the middle. And let's see how we're moving. See how slow we're operating right now. This is what I know words are super hard when you're this frustrated. And this is a non-whiskey game. What is that? That's a good fake. That was a good pass defended, I guess. I think Jaden Bray could have actually made a play on that. Oh, Spencer waited too long to throw the ball. And he threw it way behind him. Never mind. That was on Spencer. Yeah, he waited way, way too long. It was the same on that wheel route earlier that he threw the pick, like his first pick or second pick maybe, when he kind of threw off his back foot on that deep wheel route. The dude was wide open, like a mile and a day open. If Spencer throws that ball on any type of timing, it's a touchdown. Well, same there. If he throws that ball with any type of timing and he leads the receiver, that's touchdown. Get the first down, Spencer. Okay, that'll work. Slide. Not bad. That was a decent run up the middle. We'll take that. Well, Spencer sure got his jersey dirty today. Again, come on, Cowboys. Just make this daggone thing respectable here. Even if you don't pull out the biggest upset in Cowboy history, hey, there's just a logical screen pass. That works. Good move, Nixon. Jaden Nixon, get loose, baby. Okay. See, Jaden Nixon. We've been needing some Jaden Nixon. Now, it is crazy, though, defensively speaking, when you see Jaden Nixon come into the game, how do you not know there's a 55% chance it's a screen pass? Is it too late to win? No, it's not. But we have to move quicker than we are. Like, the frustration I have at this moment is how slow we're moving right now. Like, why are we playing like we're up? That was actually a really good swing pass. Get out of bounds. Okay, gain of 4 or 5 yards. Yet again, Jaden Nixon. No, we've got time. Like, crazier stuff has happened in college football. That's why we love college football. But again, we got to move with a sense of urgency. We need to be moving like we're in a 2-minute offense for the rest of this game. There we go. It's 2nd and 6. That's a huge drive. Again, 4-down territory. Every single drive here has to be 4 down. Why are we running up the gut? We're not going to have enough time if we keep doing that kind of stuff. That's the head scratcher stuff. We're moving like we're up by 30. Like, what are we doing? What are we subbing in? What are we doing? 21 package? No. We only have 1 back. So we got a weird diamond type of trips, triangular trips up top. Now Jaden Bray's in motion to the short side of the field. Spencer looks left, looks right. Another dump off screen pass. They're all over this one. Okay, what do we just say? If Jaden Nixon's in the game, how do you not know there's at least a 55% chance it's a screen pass? And there it is right there. The predictability. Again. And are we punting? I'm sure, surely we. What are we doing? No, we're not punting. 4th and 9. We look confused. We look like we don't. Okay. They're in press coverage. No, they're press coverage on the wide side. They're showing blitz. Oh, they're showing a big blitz. Are they bringing them? Or are they backing? What happened there? False start. Delay a game. How do you get a delay a game as this senior quarterback? Oh, faked him out. We took a flag on purpose. That makes sense. Okay. Another drive down the field for no reason. And not a very good punt. This is a mess. Oh, South Carolina about to pull off the upset. Look at Spencer Rattler getting wild and loose. Okay. Oh, still 11 minutes left. Oh, they're down 31-49 though. That's a decent hole. I'm going to say it. I mean, there's nobody. I mean, I don't know. Nobody's going to get too riled up at this point in time, I don't think. It was a big stick. Colin Oliver. Spencer Sanders is. Oh, who's he cussing at? He's screaming and cussing at somebody. Who was that? I actually did not see who Spencer Sanders was. I've never seen him lose his crap like that on the sideline on a coach. Wow. Spencer Sanders is fired up. What's happening with his cheek? His cheek's like twitching. Come on, D-line. Yeah, good job, O-line. Wow. And now we get pressure at the very end of the play clock. This is yet another situation where our conservatism is killing us. Hopefully that's why Spencer Sanders is losing his ever-loving mind right now. Spencer Sanders is just screaming and cussing at one of the coaches. I've never seen him yell at anybody. Yeah. That was a good punt. Oh, come on, Brennan. Come on, BP. Go, BP. Oh, he had a seam. Oh, Brennan Presley about got loose. South Carolina's about to take down Tennessee, which is it's good for TCU. Gives them that separation that they need. It might be too late now. If we don't score like within the next minute and a half, 2 minutes, it very well could be too late. Oh, here, guess what? Another roll out right and throw it out of bounds play. That's the I don't know. I'm okay. I'm going to watch the film and count how many times we've done that. Roll out right and throw it out of bounds. At least 7 times. At least 7 times today. Like for sure. 21, 37, 210 yards, 0 TDs, 3 picks. And he's thrown it into the first row of the bleachers at least 6, 7 times. He's thrown more completions to the fans than his own receivers. That was a good rip. Good job. There we go. That was a big chunk play. Now let's move with some sort of purpose here. It's a good job getting Braden Johnson. So, okay, look at that route. Braden Johnson pushed that defensive back all the way to the point the defensive back had to stop moving his hips and feet before he made his break. That is exactly what he didn't do on that slant route. If he does that on that slant route, that's a first down. You can't break your slant off of a half a step forward. It's never going to work, especially if they're in press coverage. That was a good route. That was a good job. And there we go, throwing it to Braden Cassidy, using our tight end, which is something that we have done very rarely this season. Now we're chunking it deep, and our receiver ran a 5-yard stop. Well, he did. Spencer did that earlier to a pick. So, and Spencer was mad as all get out at the receiver. He didn't yell at him. He wanted to. Okay, here we go. We got that trip stack formation on the wide side of the field again. I wonder if we're going to send JPR there in motion. So you usually run this play if they're running press. If you're having a hard time getting off press, you got to get that block. There's a first down by Spencer. Get down. All right, 12-yard line. Let's go. Move with a purpose. Come on. Our O-line, our O-line is not living up to anything this season. Charlie Dickey, get out. Make this dude pack his bags tonight after this game. You know what? He can take McAdoo with him. He can take daggone Tim Rattay with him. I'm 50-50 on Dunn, y'all. I don't know that it matters who our offensive coordinator is. If we've got a puppet master, we run the ball. They've got 7 men in the box, and they're showing an 8-man blitz, and we still run it right up the gut. None right now. Yeah, no, I've had people on. I've had people asking questions, but right now it's just me all by myself. Well, yeah, like it is what it is. I said I was going to go live and react to the game live, so that's what I'm doing. Oh, good deep ball. Foul! Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, pass interference. He almost caught that with one hand, y'all. So it's funny. They went back to that. That was the same play a few plays ago that Bryson Green ran the stop and Spencer threw the go. That time they were on the same page. Green runs the go. Spencer throws the go. Almost comes down with an amazing one-handed grab. Side of the end zone. Brent Venables is going berserk. He's not happy. Let's see. It's Woody Washington. Woody Washington's a good ball player. Was he? Oh yeah. He was grabbing his shoulder the whole time. Okay. You know what's funny? I hate it when corners get up and act like they did absolutely nothing. And again, guys, we all know that Corey Black does get away with some ticky-tacky here and there. So I ain't saying nothing. Goal line situation. We've got a 9-man box. What are you doing, Spencer? Oh, touchdown. We got lucky there. Get out of Dodge. Really, congratulations, buddy. We never throw to the touchdown. Tight end, freshman Quentin Stewart. How about that? That's great for that kid. Guys, there's still 16 minutes left. That was almost a very, very, very bad play. That was almost a Spencer Sanders 12-yard loss. What that almost was. You know, it's funny. I had people telling me that going live when you're just starting off, it kind of slightly difficult. But it is what it is. We've got to start somewhere. Trivia Aflac question. Oklahoma State are meeting for the 113th consecutive time. This is tied for the second longest active streak in FBS. Which is the first longest active streak in FBS? I would have to. FBS. I was going to say Yale Princeton, but obviously that's not FBS.
Army Navy.
I'm going to say, you're probably pretty close. Army Navy might be right. I'm going to say Notre Dame.
Tennessee.
Notre Dame plays a lot. That's a hard one. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to say Notre Dame Navy. That would be my guess. Notre Dame Navy. Do we get cute here? Turn on side? No. Nope. Let it rip. Let it go. Try to see what our defense can do. All right, they're returning. Good job. We upended that dude. It's getting okay, a little chippy. The coach that Spencer Sanders just jumped into just ran on the field, yelling for his guys. I like that. Wisconsin, Minnesota. Huh. Makes sense. Isn't that the Wooden Axe Bowl or something like that? Wooden Hatchet Bowl or bucket? They give out a bucket or something like that with like an axe on it for their trophy. For those of you that'll catch this part, you know why the Bedlam Trophy was a bell for a long time? Because in 1917, we beat OU and we played the game in like Oklahoma City for some odd reason. So as soon as the game was over, they already had it coordinated that there were some OU fans on Stillwater's campus, and they climbed up and they stole the bell, the Oklahoma State bell on campus, that ding dong, when we'd score touchdowns and whatnot. And they took it back to Norman. And this thing was like a major confrontation for years and years and years. And then OSU students at one point in time, did the same thing. They went to Norman's campus and they stole it back. But then the OU campus said that OSU stole the wrong bell back, that OU still had the original bell that went to the tower and yada, yada, yada. So in like 1963, they came to an agreement that they would make the bell the trophy. And that's why the Bedlam Bell is not only the symbol, but the trophy for the game almost every year. That's really good defense on second. Oh, they got a flag. Who's the flag on? That was really good defense by Jabbar Muhammad on Marvin Mims all the way down the sideline. I'm wondering if, or so they're calling it a, okay, yeah, cool. It is on the offense. I was going to say it was really, really good D. So it wouldn't have made any sense to call that. All right. 2nd and 10. Let's make a play here. So they're stretching the field wide. OU's got a stacked formation at slot on the wide side of the field. They've got Marvin Mims out there in the numbers, I believe. What are we doing defensively? So we've got too high. I can't see JT. There he is. Okay. So now they just switched their slot to the other side. What is happening? Okay, they screwed up the markers. I was wondering about that, but so they corrected the down marker. So it's 3rd and what does that say? 3rd and 5. What? If someone can explain that one to me, that one doesn't make a lot of sense. Come on, get there. Oh, we got him! Thank goodness. Is that Latu? Nathan Latu. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Who was my defensive key player of the game? Atta baby. That's awesome. It's good for him too, because I'm sure he's tired of everybody talking all week about how his brother is a starting tight end for Bama. So it looks like OU's going to let the clock run out of the third to take it into the fourth. Smart move. All right, so we're gonna flop sides of the field and field this punt, this fourth quarter. Again, so we're not exactly getting our teeth kicked in anymore. We've kind of somewhat controlled the bleeding. It's still a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, but it's man, now it's two Band-Aids. I'll upgrade us. We're two Band-Aids on a bullet hole. But it's something. If we can at least make this respectable by the time it's all said and done, that would be real nice. Anybody going to be watching the Lions game tomorrow? I heard Malcolm Rodriguez should be playing. Last week was the only game he's missed all season. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to have him right now? Not that Mason Cobb's he's going to be pretty good, right? You can clearly see that he gets it. The question is Xavier Benson. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Nicholas Martin in this game. Because he has been being sprinkled in for Xavier Benson the last couple of games. And from what I've heard, it has nothing to do with injuries. It's just that you can see on film the things that Xavier Benson does wrong, he does over and over and over. Just like earlier, we had he had a full-on wide-open space on a blitz to Dylan Gabriel. And he took a terrible angle. He didn't even get close to breaking down at any point in time. He literally just ran a straight line right next to Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel just stepped to the side and took off for 8, 10, 12 yards. Yeah, Xavier Benson's a liability, unfortunately, which made me eat some crow because coming into this season, I knew Mason Cobb was going to be good, right? We've covered that before. But I thought Xavier Benson was going to be more than comparable to Devin Harper, not body size and stuff like that, but production-wise. Wishful thinking on my part. And if, he's playing this number of snaps and still having this number of MAs, missed assignments, right? Just taking bad angles. That's his only issue on the season. Is and this is on film, you can rewind it and fast forward it, whatever. He takes bad angles a lot. He makes up for it a decent amount of time because he came into the game with 58 tackles, which is obviously very respectable, just behind Mason Cobb, 77. You look at Danny Stutzman over on the other side of the ball, the OU at 91. It's impressive, but just like with Danny Stutzman's numbers, they have a little bit more production from the linebacker position. Kendall Daniels is somebody that overruns sometimes, but when Kendall Daniels overruns a play and when Xavier Benson overruns a play, you can visibly see they're two entirely different things. Just the way that both of those dudes outrun their assignments, it's just different. And Kendall Daniels seems to have the ability to kind of physically make up for it and move side to side enough to maybe get a hand on, maybe get a shoestring tackle. But Xavier Benson, when he takes the wrong angle and looks lost, it doesn't look like he makes a massive attempt to fix it. It's just he's oh, all right, man, I got beat there. It is what it is. I can't stand this OU light thing. Can somebody explain that to me? It's so childish. This is new. OU's doing this thing where they shut the lights off of the whole stadium and just flicker them on and off. It looks ridiculous. All right, set up for a punt. What are they doing? Are they trying to be cute? Okay, no, they punted. Speaking of being cute, I love the fact that OU has been aggressive this whole game. The step on the throat mentality that you need to have. Clearly, Brett Venables does that because even with 37 seconds left to end the half, OU is trying to score. They were trying to put the game out of reach on the last few drives going into halftime. When we, on the last few drives, what do? We have this massive propensity to, take a knee. So regardless of the outcome of this game, I know that I am going to give props to OU and Brent Venables, Jeff Levy. The game planning today was masterful. And it was just the playing inspired. OU looked like they gave a hoot today. We didn't at all at any point in time. And there we go. And we're just trying to force feed the ball to Jaden Bray. It's like a safety blanket, but he actually should have caught that one. That was actually a pretty good pass. Yeah, that hit him right in his chest. That's what happens, kids out there. Don't use your daggone chest pads to catch the ball. Use your hands. And 90% of the time when you make it to D1 level, especially this level of D1, that's usually not something you have to worry about, is trying to use your shoulder pads over and over again. But for some reason, young players do that quite often. Oh, wide open, way down the field. Brennan Presley, go BP. He's still up on the 25-yard line, on the 20-yard line. Cuts back to the 15, to the 9. Here we go, baby. Come on, we're in this thing here. Oh, that was good. There we go. There's an Okie that gives a hoot about this game, clearly. I love to see it. We got to capitalize here. There's still 14 minutes left. If we score here in the next 40 seconds, that was actually okay. That's the first time today that running it up the middle in the second half made sense. Jaden Nixon did have to make a man miss in the backfield yet again, but he did turn nothing into something. He turned that into 2 or 3 yards. That's the difference between Jaden Nixon and Dom. We love Dom. Everybody loves Dom. But that would have been a 3-yard loss with Dom. That's the difference. Running up the gut at that place on the field, that makes some sense. That's not bad. Okay, so here we are, right in between the 10 and 9-yard line, 2nd and 8. Good fake, good run. He's open. Throw the ball. Why did you wait that long, Spencer? He was wide open. Spencer just completely misses 2 wide receivers on that one. He tried to roll out to the other side of the field. He tried to throw a get opposite side of his body. That was ugly. That was one of those Spencer moments today that you're just like, what in tarnation are you doing, child? 3rd and 8, inside the 10, almost to the 9. They're showing blitz. Both linebackers, they're coming. Good job picking up the blitz. You got to let it go. Oh, why'd you dump it underneath? My goodness gracious. Come on. What did he do this time? I bet y'all can guess. He got the ball and he rolled out right. Are we kicking a field goal down by a century and a mile? You're joking, Gundy. Are you drunk, dude? Guys, this is the problem. Kicking field goals when you're down by 75 miles. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. What are you doing? Gundy is, oh my gosh. Spencer Sanders and Mike Gundy decided to take a bunch of shots before this game, apparently. I wonder if Gundy coaches hammered drunk. Because, like mathematically speaking, what are you doing? Please tell me how that is justifiable at any point in time from any coach. How do you expect to get your team 100% fired up to come back and win an epic ball game when you yourself don't try to go for the win? This is a conversation we've had 133,000 times. I apologize for going there again, but goodness me, I just it's non-defensible. There's no justification for kicking field goals like this all the time. Yeah, we're eventually gonna put ourselves in a position that we're not competing for the title of wide receiver U, and we start competing for the title of kicker U. I don't know if that's beneficial or not. I think you can argue. What do you got? Sweethearts there? Well, I probably shouldn't be chomping away on a sweet tart. Uh-oh. I was just joking. Okay. Okay. Haribo. I'll take it. Might as well. Well, here we are. Mm-mm-mm. It's definitely possible, but taking field goals like they're going out of style, it's not gonna do it. They're showing Mike Gundy's program winning history and whatnot. They didn't show his winning Bedlam history though. Oh, smacked him down 18-yard line. I feel like there's a big possibility that this game is yet again going to come down to lack of ability to score and our obsession with punting and kicking field goals. I think secretly Gundy is fascinated with kickers. I think that's he's decided that that's going to be his ticket to success in his rest of his career is we're just going to have the best kickers and the best punters ever. It's like, why score touchdowns and first downs and not kick field goals when you can, I guess. That part. I don't get it. I've never got it. I will never get it. And I don't know that I can be convinced that it's acceptable because logically, it just again doesn't make any sense. All right, so what do we got? 12 minutes left, fourth quarter. OU ball. Third down and what? Third down and 3? Third down and 4? Yeah, third down and 3. Okay. Come on, defense. Need to stop here. Keep bailing the play calling out. Good. Oh, he had him. What happened? Did he catch the ball? He didn't catch the ball. Thank goodness. There we go. 4th and 3. Punt the ball. Give it back. Let's go. Okay, now we're getting a little bit chippy. Now we're getting a little fired up on D there, playing with a little bit of a purpose. All right, BP, need you here. If we kick another field goal again, I might break something. Yeah, officially. It might be a pencil, but it'll be something. Okay, they're punting from pretty deep. Fair catch? Yep, fair catch. Fair catch on the 26. Not bad. Do not kick a field goal. I'm almost okay with any other outcome. I'm almost okay with. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say something crazy. This is good. It's good for me to do this right occasionally, just so I kind of get the hang of it, get the feel. We're on commercial break now. The productivity's picking up. I just, I hate, I hate that we get so reliant on the least amount of points you can get, other than a safety. Now, and I know I do understand that the reason Gundy does that is to try to get the punter to pin the team so far back that we do have an opportunity at a safety, and it's something that we were able to pull off a lot early in the season. But you don't have Tom Hutton at your disposal, so arguably you had the best punter in the Big 12 for sure, right? Top 5 in the country easily. And you go from that to Logan Ward. Logan Ward's actually really, really good. Clearly, he's got a big boot on him, but he doesn't punt the same way that Tom Hutton did. Tom Hutton had that lefty Australian style rollout punt, but it also had a crazy spin on it, right? You've heard it a thousand times. The spin that he put on the ball was obviously, a major factor and why you've seen so many players drop his punts. Yeah, it's not going to be fun without him next year per se, but we've got Logan Ward. This conversation that we're having to have about kickers and punters, though, is just, it's completely asinine to me. Hopefully we can figure it out. I do want to hear y'all's opinion. Like, is this all undone? Not the decision making, but the play calling. I know for 100% certainty, for a fact, that all the field goals, that's all Gundy. That's 133,000% all Gundy. Now, what's happening in between the other 80 yards of field, right? Is that done? Probably. And it's just, it's just too predictable. Yeah, they're showing the Cheetah Tyreek Hill run back. I put a poll out on Facebook, or not Facebook, sorry, Twitter. And what was the biggest bedlam moment for y'all? The 2001 Rashawn catch or the 2014 Tyreek Hill punt return? And the punt return by Tyreek Hill, the "This is Bedlam" by Just Gonson call, got barely edged out Rashawn Woods in 2011, 51 to 49%. So, yeah, it was pretty cool to see everybody's votes and reaction there. Spencer just took a massive sack. They'd run a stunt. Oh, yeah. And Preston Wilson got confused and beat. You don't see that happen very often. 2nd and 15. That's exactly where we want them. Oh, and we're just going to run the 30th flipping screen for another loss of 4 yards. So it's a 3rd and 20. Got it. Again, the play calling. You can't run screen after screen after screen after screen against anybody. You couldn't do this against Grambling State or Southern Jacksonville Community College. It doesn't matter. You cannot be so predictable that you run like 12 plays and 12 plays only all game. It's like, well, who do you think you're fooling? Okay, so that was great protection by the O-line, and instead of staying in the pocket, what did Spencer do? He rolls out right, unnecessarily, for absolutely no reason whatsoever. He had so much time and perfect protection. That's 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. He could have stood there for 2 more seconds, and instead he rolls out and throws the ball out of bounds. That's not on Casey Dunn. That's not on Mike Gundy. That's all Spencer there. This obsession he has today with rolling right, rolling right, rolling right, rolling right, rolling right, throwing out of bounds. It's ridiculous. Decent. No, not a great punt. Ten minutes left. The story of this game is how many opportunities we just flushed down the drain. That's absolutely the case here. Guys, OU has given us windows to come back in this thing multiple times, and we have just not taken advantage of them. 10 minutes left. Field goals, it's going to come back to bite us. We're going to mess around and lose by like 3 daggone points. And then after, the game's over. Yeah. Yeah, when the game's over, there will be no accountability so that's not exactly true. Gundy does very well at essentially verbally on a podium taking accountability, but it's never for all of the field goals and punts. It's never for that, right? It's always, it's my fault. We lost. I should have had better prepared. I've never one time ever heard him come out and say, you know what? I keep screwing the pooch by kicking the ball too daggone much. And it's like nobody has the testicular fortitude to be honest enough with Gundy to explain to him that he's only got one major flaw, and if he would fix this major flaw, we have a different record. We can't be one of the top, handful of winningest programs over the last 15, 20 years, right? Top 5, top 10 most winning programs over the last 10, 15 years, and then have this abysmal championship record pedigree. And then on top of that, when it's all said and done, we keep giving passes, and we give more passes, and it happens again, and we give more passes. Like, you know what I'd love? I'd love nothing more than Mike Gundy signing a contract that states that every time he loses a game by being too conservative, he loses $1 million for that season. That would be a wonderful contract. I mean, this year the dude's making like $7-8 million. So if he lost a few million because of him doing this crapola, that's very, very deserved. And it ain't going to hurt him. It ain't going to break his piggy bank if he loses a few million like he deserves to for performances like this and field goal punting and everything like this. Why is Venables screaming at everybody? Brett Venables is going off. Who's he lighting up over there? Obviously the defense. Why is he lighting the defense up? They're playing good. I'm so confused. That didn't make any sense. Oh, good rollout. Good D. Another terrible angle. Jesus. Mason Cobb has a tailor-made sack. And again, we take a bad angle. Now, Mason Cobb did a better job of at least taking enough of an angle to make Gabriel roll out. But you let him roll out. You let him roll out to his preferred side of the field. Come on, you got to stop him here. There you go. Well, he's still letting him get 4 or 5 yards. Barnes with the 4 or 5 yard run. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, 9:40 left, 45-yard line. What do we do here? See this massive window we're giving this slot receiver? That's 12. He's 10, 12 yards off of him. So all you got to do there is run a stop route. Okay, there we go. Rolling again to the left side. Good job keeping contained, Mason Cobb. There we go. Good tackle from the backside. Brock Martin. Good job. Guys, that play right there is made by Mason Cobb, getting outside leverage on the outside shoulder to keep it contained, to bounce it back in, and Brock Martin hustling his tail down the line. Again, there's an Okie that gives a hoot. Great job on Mason Cobb. He didn't make the greatest attempt of a tackle, but he did his job. And OU's just going to let the clock run. Yep. So let it run down. Watch us drive down the field. Kick a field goal.
As long as they don't give me.
You know what? Regardless, I will say this: we have successfully come back and made this thing a real game. So it's going to be a little easier to swallow. 28-13. It was 28-0 for the entire first half. Come on now. If we score, my prediction was 28-21 OSU. I think I'd be pretty mad if it went 28-21 OU. Good score prediction, Cody. Wrong team. Yeah, we've turned around and made this thing halfway respectable. But again, we have failed to even attempt to capitalize on our red zone opportunities. Yeah, it's like, okay, so the TCU game earlier, which is hands down not even close. You're crazy if you even question. When I say you, I'm saying in third person. If we were to all assume there was a better Big 12 game than what TCU just performed in Waco against Baylor, could you imagine our team with like 13 seconds left running an entire unit on and off the field simultaneously, getting a snap down, hold down, and a kick on the way as the clock's running out? Could you see that happening? I would say I don't think so. That's a TCU. Clearly, they were prepared. They were disciplined. They practiced that before. They knew what they were doing. They didn't panic. They didn't stress. Guys, that holder got out there, and he picked his spot on the field, I think, before the entire line got set up. But, yeah, that was a masterful job to be able to switch 22 dudes in a matter of 10 seconds and still getting the kickoff. I don't think we could do that. I don't think that we put in that kind of minuscule detail work because we miss the minuscule details of the game that are imperative to being successful. And it all comes down to aggressiveness. It's like what's a good analogy? Like if you settle, if you're constantly settling for field goals, I don't know what a good life application would be comparable, but
Just
coming up short, right?
Don't you want a hot chick occasionally?
Oh, there you go, settling for the less attractive option. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's a Gundy. Gundy, for all he's done a lot. He's done a lot. He's a legend. But if somebody could just sit this man down and make him stop being so conservative, the man can have whatever he wants. Oh, there you go. There's Jay Nixon. Get out there, baby. Get out there, Jay Nixon. Oh, go. Big run by Jay Nixon. Gets all the way across the field. Gets out of bounds. Oh, that was a good chunk run. That's like 30-yard run right there. Jay Nixon, yet again. Awesome. And he got out of bounds. What a beautiful run. Now who's hurt? Oh, crap. That's Rashad Owens. Hopefully. Okay, he's getting up under his own power. Oh, it's an ankle. He's a limping, gimping around now. You know, rolling out right. If I'm OU, I put not even necessarily a spy, but like a bandit or a rover over to whatever wide side of the field is, or rolling right, basically. Just or have your defensive end pop out and do nothing but contain Spencer Sanders from rolling out right in today's game. It's a different story. We've had 247 yards in this half, and y'all have had 57. This is a complete reversal of the first half, except for what's the difference?
Points.
Well, yeah, but aggressiveness, yeah. Brent Venables was trying to be a pit bull and bite our Adam's apple out of our throat. Brent Venables ain't kicking a bunch of field goals, y'all. What was that? That looked like it had to have been a busted play. We rolled out right again. And Spencer tried to throw across his body. I don't know what route Johnson was running, but it looked like somebody went the wrong way there. Let's put it that way. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. 8 minutes, 14 seconds left. They're playing way off. Stand-up D-line. It looks like they're going to give up the underneath here. Middle linebacker. We've got double linebacker blitz. Nope, only one blitz. One bailed to the middle of the field. Spencer Sanders rolls right, shakes a guy. What are you doing? Okay. He runs out of bounds for 3-4 yards. Oh, OU player pushes Spencer in the back. Coach Venables saw it. The refs didn't see it. Coach Venables saw it. He was getting on one of his players. Dude, he's in street clothes. He's not even in pads. Trying to start crap with Spencer Sanders on the OU sideline. Spencer Sanders is not supposed to be in pads. Oh, rolling right again for the 137,000th time. Looks like he's a yard shy of the first down on 3rd and 6. They're going to give it to him? Oh, they are going to give it to him. I guess he did reach the ball out with his other hand. Okay. 3rd and 6. Let's go, baby. Yeah, this roll out right offense is killing me.
That's the only way that he can do it.
Yeah, he is not standing in the pocket whatsoever. Like, even when the O-line's giving him plenty of time, he's not standing there in the pocket. Oh, there he goes. See, okay, he stands there in the pocket for more than 3 seconds, throws a dime. Good job. First down. Johnson gets out of bounds. That's what we need. That's what we need more of. Just stay in the pocket, bud. If your O-line's going to give you time, stay there. Now, I get it. Sometimes they kind of screw the pooch on giving you time, so you have to roll, but don't roll if you don't have to. Stay there. Okay? You can take off. Oh, he got tripped up from behind. He probably would have gained at least 9 or 10 if he didn't get tripped up. Still gains about 5 or 6. It was a decent little run by Spencer. It was a good job. Somebody getting a shoestring tackle in there to prevent a bigger gain. 6:40 left. Let's roll. Come on. You better get to getting. Oh, blitz. Picked it up. Good job. Green on the outside. Gets out of bounds. There we go. We're moving with a sense of purpose. Hey, that was actually nice because he didn't roll out right, stayed in the pocket, and went to the opposite side of the field. That's an NFL throw right there. With a half of his shoulder hanging off his body. Good protection. Stay there. Now he's rolling out right again. Goodness me. I was just going to throw it into the stands. This default rollout right thing, it's not as frustrating as all the field goals, but Spencer Sanders is hurt. He does not look like he is clicking on all cylinders right now. 6:09 left. We're in field goal range. We're just on the edge of Tanner's range, but we're there. Not that we need another flipping field goal. Oh, what a terrible throw. Spitzer throws a mile high to a wide open Bryson Green just standing on the sidelines. Oh, you can't. Oh, well, I guess he should have caught that. It was still a high throw, but yeah, he typically catches that. He got both hands on it. That's on the receiver. Not a great throw, but number one rule as a wide receiver, if your fingertips, both of your fingertips touch the ball, you should have had it. Point blank, period. No questions asked. 3rd and 10, 6:05 left. What do we got? 4 wide. Oh, you called timeout? Or did we call? Please tell me we did not call timeout. Oh, you did. Thank goodness. Okay. If we'd have just burned an unnecessary timeout, I'd have been heated. If we pull this off, I bet you people start jumping on this daggone thing. Maybe I gotta do the hat switch on. All right. Superstition, hat switch. Oh, yeah, I'll go full superstitious. See if I can't harness the power of James Washington here, baby. All right, here we go. All right, see? Wardrobe change. Now we're going to drive down and score. That's how it works. I do my part. Cool, now. 6:05 left. 3rd and 10. Spencer with a snap. Outside blitz. Good pass. Right at the chains is BP. Are they going to give it to him? Oh, crap. We have another receiver down. Goodness me. Oh, he's hurt. He's kicking his feet all over. That's Bryson Green. He ain't coming back in. Y'all, you can just tell. You can typically tell by reaction. What? I sound like Gundy.
When he's not going to help injure people.
Oh, Gundy don't mention it anymore.
He just had that interview the other day where he was talking about that quarterback in Kansas that was going to be playing.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell that it was
Adrian Martinez.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good at calling injuries now. No people.
I can't see what happened. It's like a broken collarbone, maybe. By the way, he's reacting. Just kind of laying bad. I don't know. I can't tell if they're going to give us first down. Oh, they are. They gave us first down. He was right on that line. That's close. Hey, have you seen the helmets that we're wearing? Yeah, those are slick. I like the uniform combo today.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's super. They're holding his arm up, taking him to the locker room. Yeah. You know what's sad? If we come back and win this daggone thing, it's like people are going to erase all of the missed opportunities that we had. And I don't know that that's a good thing. Right? How are you going to force accountability if you get bailed out at the end? And it's like, okay, all those stupid decisions, they ended up not necessarily biting you. So, no. I don't know what I think about that. Now they're reviewing it. I thought maybe he was half yard shy. Is his knee down there? Yeah, if his knee's down, he's half yard shy. I mean, still, we're 100% on the precipice of this being a touchdown game with 6+ minutes left. Yeah. If we come back and win this thing, I still don't think we should be giving out a bunch of it's okay participation trophy hall passes to the people that need to be held accountable for this one, because that first half, that's absolutely inexcusable. You know, the lack of aggressiveness. Can't have it. Can't have it. I think he might be a half yard shy here. But I mean, it doesn't matter. You're 100% in 4-down territory, regardless of what happens here. You have to go for it. And hopefully you don't run the most predictable play in the playbook, that the other team knows exactly what's coming. That's a long review. They're definitely taking a gander at this thing here. No, so that wasn't one of those things where he cut the route off too early. That was designed right. That was a good fit. It went where it was supposed to go. You expect BP to be able to get that and get upfield 3 yards, and he did. He's right smack dab on that line. I can't tell, but I don't know if it's enough to overturn. Yeah, first down. Ruling on field stands. Boom. There we go. All right, come on. We are in like Flynn, ladies and gentlemen. Old Brett Venables don't look so happy. Gotta score here. Gotta score here and not a tag on field goal. Don't do it. All right. 1st and 10 from our own, or from their 16-yard line. They dropped in coverage. Threw it high. Again, dagnabbit. Come on, Spencer. Presley, BP was open. He was open. Mason just overshot him a little bit. Or Mason, I pulled you. Spencer. Come on. Come on, Spencer. You got to have this one, kiddo. 2nd 10 from the 16. Spencer drops back, looking right, looks left, up center field. Another bad throw, threw it high right to an OU player. Yeah, in the end zone. Whew. Sean White did not even have to move. He literally stood there and the ball came right into his chest. What happened? Why did Spencer throw high? We could do it in the. So when you're watching film and you see 2 wide receivers end up 5 yards away from each other, something went way, way wrong. And I don't know what in God's purple earth Spencer Sanders is looking at there. All right, got to have a stop here now. Oh, what happened? My phone just died? No, my phone didn't die. What in tarnation is going on here? Loss of service. What?
Did you just disconnect from the internet?
No.
ABC.
Yeah. Oh, what is happening? This doesn't help me any. Hold on, y'all. I just lost the game. What is happening with the feed? Oh, you're joking. Looks like I just lost the game. Oh, that's garbage. All right. No big deal. We'll just go old school here. Go right there. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang, bada bum. Here we go. Come on. Yeah, this is a really, really, really big time. That's for sure. We've got the ability. We've got the capability. All right, defense is going to have to come up with a really big stop here. But we've got plenty of time. So you go for it here on fourth. Don't do it. I mean, that's actually, you know what? You should. Brent Venables has been massively aggressive this entire game. There's no reason for him to stop now, right? No, it ain't way too late to win. Seriously, if I can't talk about guys, what? I'm so confused. That comment. I mean, if we're going to say the words, I guess. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, we've got a shot. We are going to have to give some props, regardless of how this turns out. Derek Mason. But what we cannot do is we cannot completely excuse how this decision-making process has gone. Okay, so yes, we'd have to score quickly, right? We've got timeouts. We've got the time. It's all about what Spencer Sanders is going to do here. He's got to stop throwing high and complete pass. You know, I don't see what Spencer's. It's not his shoulder that's been the major obstacle today. It's been his daggone eyes. His eye discipline has been absolutely horrendous. But we need to exploit the outside. Obviously, their corners are going to be shading outside to keep everything in. And then we have an in route and we miss it. Second down and 10 from 27. 4 receivers. Here we go. Threw him in pressure. He's sacked. A loss of 12 yards. Okay. 3rd and 22. That's exactly where we want them. Okay, so now we might have an issue here. No, come on now. Are they going to blitz? Yeah, they're blitzing. He's sacked again on 3rd and 23. That is, it's just, that's, wow. It is what it is, but I still think that it would be asinine for us as a fan base to give a bunch of free passes, right? This is a game that heads have to roll. Like, this is a game where Coach Dickey and Coach McAdoo and Coach Rattay do not deserve to get on the bus home. They should walk or hitchhike. I think that's more than fair. The timing of what we're doing is just, it's absolutely preposterous, right? I swear that there's a possibility that my 8-year-old daughter could have called that first half offensively. Yeah, I just, I don't know what's going on with the feeds and whatnot with the game. Yeah, two straight sacks. And that's basically how it's going to end up for us. And at least we made it respectable, right? At least we found a way to come back and make this thing halfway respectable. But at the same time, this performance is absolutely inexcusable. If you're a player and you're really contemplating, kind of what your next decision is, does it not come into play that If you have a coach that's constantly playing to win, that's going to be far more fun. Like, this is the part that I don't understand is we're not going to take accountability for this. We're going to get up on the podium. By we, I mean Gundy. He's going to get up on the podium after the game, and he's going to have a 12-minute interview about how things just didn't happen right, and they weren't prepared, and they got outplayed. And it's just like, well, no crap, dude. Why can't we just come to grips with the reality that the problem starts with the decision-making process at top? If you ever heard anything militarily, it's everything happens at the top matters, and it dictates the success that you have in your company. And I think that's very applicable to this as well. If you don't think that your coach is playing to win, you see the lackluster effort attitude that I think you definitely saw in the first half. Like, there's no way that you can find the first half not questionable. And again, it's not a preparedness thing. It's a lack of ability. Okay, Pat, we almost intercepted that one. Yeah, 91-19. That's actually, so I covered that the other day. That's a very disingenuous number because the difference between OU and OSU back then was Oklahoma State University spent all of their resources on wrestling. Oklahoma State University didn't hire a realistic coach and pay him big boy money, even back then until 1908. OU had been playing paying coaches all the way back to Vernon Parrington in 1897. So OU had been investing money from the get-go in the sport of football, while Oklahoma State had spent all of their resources on basketball, which is exactly why Gallagher Hall was built for wrestling. And then obviously we did win a couple national titles around the same time in basketball at the mid 40s, 45, 46. It was a good time to be a Cowboy. But so that record right there, it's extremely disingenuous of the competitiveness of, let's say, the last 15, 20 years. Nobody's going to say that the games over the last 10, 15 years haven't been remarkable. But you also can't say that 85% of the losses in this game are due to Gundy's decision-making. And the first half, you had our defense. We've got one timeout yet here. Our defense was literally walking and standing around while they were snapping the ball over and over. Like, I want to say I can't wait to watch this film. It's kind of a lie. When I watch this film, I'm going to need to do so with a healthy dose of whiskey. It's going to be difficult, but I am also excited kind of not to do the grading, but just to see how many times we made massive, massive mistakes. How many times we rolled outright and threw the ball out of bounds. Look, what do you guys think? What's the over-under on how many times Spencer Sanders rolled outright and threw the ball out of bounds? 50 plus. No, it was in 1970. Again, that you're beating a dead horse there, Connor. Like, Oklahoma State University didn't start financially investing in football until the early 80s. And so if you take that into context, that means Oklahoma State University has successfully erased 75 years of not giving 13 craps about the sport of football. And then we've been able to shrink wrap that and condense it down to being pretty majorly successful over the last 30 years. So, again, the numbers that OU fans are spitting out, I mean, I would too. I get it. If you have that big of an advantage, I don't blame you. But I think putting into context makes sense as well. If you're not taking a sport seriously while another team is dominant in that avenue, I feel like it does come with a minor grain of salt, right? Again, I'm not over here defending this crap. See, I almost cursed. I almost said bad word. Again, this is 100% inexcusable. This is a game you should not lose. This is just like 2013. there's only a handful of times in our lifetime that we have been physically, player for player, position for position, more talented than OU. And every time, not every time, but a large portion of those times, we crap down the leg and we screw the pooch like this. 1 minute left. Bad management there. Bad timeout management. Well, yeah, OU's still won more than 30 years. What part of the investment starting in the 80s is confusing here? I feel like I'm speaking English. I don't think my microphone has a different language setting on it. I can count. I know OU's won more games. My point is, if you take this 70-year gap, right, and then you combine the 30 years that we've shrunk this thing down, it's massively impressive. No, habla. I mean, sometimes I wish I was deaf, so I couldn't hear this stuff. This is embarrassing. I think that this is hands down, not even close, Gundy's worst Bedlam loss yet. Out of flipping 18 of them, this is Gundy's worst Bedlam yet. By a mile. You guys, OU's 5-5. Struggling to potentially maybe or maybe not make a bowl game. Not only do they get to win Bedlam, but they get to get bowl eligible against Oklahoma State University when we're still fighting for a big bowl game. This is the third time in one season that we can Oklahoma State fans can say we have not looked this bad statistically since 2005, 2004. The Kansas game, the last time we lost Lawrence was 1994. So whenever you can say in one season that you look worse than you've looked in 20 years, 3 times, something's got to give. Some heads have to roll. I'm not typically the, hey, we should fire people guy. But this is, you cannot let this go. I'll give a little modicum of respect the fact that we came back and made this thing a half-ass ball game. But that's more on the defense and Derek Mason. I hate that we don't hold our head man accountable for this crap. Like, is there any other university in the United States of America where you can go 3-15 against your rival? I'm taking the S. Take the S out of OSU. Yeah. I got so many things to say there, but I have to keep it, verbally politically correct on this channel here. So I'll let the S that you took out of the OSU, I'll let that just kind of be what it is. Oh, 3-man rush. Spencer Sanders drops back near side. Jaden Nixon incomplete. 4th down 5, 21 seconds left. OU 27-yard line. Got an opportunity in theory, right? Let's just envision back to the Central Michigan game, right? We can pull one out of here. Oh no, you're good, Dakota. I greatly appreciate you making this thing at least half-ass fun here at the end. I like to laugh. I know I'm probably not going to laugh watching this film. Absolutely. Yeah, there will be a Bedlam next year for sure. And I think the following year. There's absolutely no way that the Big 12 cannot make sure that, at least for the next 2 years, this isn't a consistent game, because you got to figure next season, there's probably no way in the next 10 years we're going to have another conversation about OU being 5-5. Again, that's why this one hurts more than the rest, because OU's 5-5. You got to win this one. Every year. No, they skipped a few years. So technically, the first game was in Guthrie in 1897. And that was the game that on record, OU said that they won 75-0. So some people say the overall is 89-19 as opposed to 90-19, and it's because of that exact game. For example, for OU's touchdown, all they had to do was get the ball to a creek. And then for Oklahoma State, Oklahoma A&M back then, to score our touchdown, we had to go the opposite side of a park, and we had to get to like in between a clearing of trees. There was like a little road type thing. So the touchdowns were a road and a creek. And I'm sure some of you heard the famous story about the OSU punter kicking the ball up, and it goes straight behind him, which is indicative of how this season has gone. So how fun. But the ball goes behind him. There's a mad scramble. People jump into the creek. OU actually had a legitimately qualified swimmer on the football team back then. He got the ball, jumped out of the creek, threw the ball down, claimed a touchdown, yada, yada, yada. So it does go back to 1897 technically, right? That was the first game on the books. And then they skipped a few years. And then 1904, not only did they play again, but 1904 was a year that OU actually played Friends University in a preseason type of game. And there was more people that showed up for the auditory battle, like the debate, than the football game. That's how irrelevant the sport of football was viewed back then. But again, this is why you have to give kudos to OU. OU is a school that took it very, very serious from the get-go. I hate that OU's moving. I hate OU. What do you mean by that? I hate OU's moving division. You mean conferences? Oh, yeah, I get it. I think you meant conferences. Yeah, I think that's another reason why there's no massive rush for Oklahoma or Texas to get out of the Big 12. Neither OU or Texas have the rosters to be immediately competitive in the SEC, and they both know that. So I think even if it wasn't a financial constraint type of issue, I still would say that they wouldn't be ready to go because their players are just not up to that level. Rangel or Gundy? Honestly, man, I'd be willing to bet a significant amount of money that we see Spencer Sanders back next year. What's up? Get some info on the first touchdown on the creek. Hey, man, I'm here for you. Hey, guys, look, like legitimately speaking, I study. I love this stuff. So I don't know, just because we got a decent amount of people on here. No, Spencer Sanders, this was his redshirt senior year. He has a COVID year available next year to him as well. He's supposed to actually make that announcement later on this week. And again, if I'm a betting man, because of the massive egg that he just laid, with the help of Gundy. Here's the thing, though. If Spencer Sanders comes back next season, to me, the only way that makes sense is if he has a come to Jesus meeting with Gundy. Like literally, they need to sit down in a room and they need to have a conversation. And he needs to say, "Hey, Gundy, you remember 2011, right? You remember 2010 where you stayed out of the offensive play calling? You remember 2011 when you just let Brandon Weeden and Todd Monken do their thing and let her rip, and you stayed kind of out of the issues? Why don't we try that again?" To me, that's the only way Spencer coming back makes any sense. If the offense is going to look exactly like this, and we're going to be this predictable, and we're not going to be willing to take any type of risk at any point in time, then there's zero reason Spencer Sanders should come back. Yes, that is very accurate. If he comes back and if this offense looks the exact same next season and we're still field goal punt fest happy, it will hurt his draft stock. Since 2000, what year is the worst loss OSU's had? Probably 2013. 2013 was a bad loss. It was a lot like this one. The 2013 loss is very reminiscent of this loss because of talent. That team, we were significantly better than OU. It's one of the few times that you can say we're just better. And we completely not only laid a massive egg in 2013, it was in Stillwater, and the entire fourth quarter, OU spent sections dancing our end zone and making fun of our band. And there's nothing we can do about it because, again, that was a year just like this one. OU was kind of struggling to find their footing, and we were cruising pretty good. And then we just pooped down our leg and completely laid an egg. That was when we had J.B. Walsh and Clint Shelf, right? So we had options at quarterback, and we couldn't get it done. We'll get them home. You might have a better chance. Yeah, I agree there. Next year, obviously, the game would be in Stillwater, which is a lot better for Spencer Sanders. Last year was an epic season. And, this season has kind of reaffirmed that. What Jim Knowles is able to do from an adjustment standpoint is flipping masterful. But, we offered big boy money. It's just, it is what it is. We're never going to have Ohio State money. So you bring in somebody like Derek Mason, which is the highest paid coordinator we've ever paid at all. You expect big things. Now, let's say this. His adjustments in second half of Texas, amazing. The adjustments second half last week, Iowa State, amazing. Adjustments today, second half, amazing. So clearly Derek Mason is figuring something out. But if Derek Mason leaves Auburn last year, when's the last time we've been consistent from one year to the next? Okay, so we in Bedlam specifically, it's literally been 20 years since we beat them back to back. It just, and the problem is a large portion of our wins against OU are upsets, right? We're traditionally not the favorite. We're traditionally not the better team until this year, 2013, right? I would say 2017 range, when we were playing with the Mason Rudolph and the Baker Mayfield, going into the Kyler Murray days. Those were fun. We were really, really good. You just happened to be going up against, Heisman and number one overall draft picks. That's hard to compete with. You know what I mean? That was just a bad timing. One of our best accumulative teams was the range where we had Mason Rudolph in his senior year. And it just didn't quite, it didn't quite work out. So having back-to-back years of beating OU level success hasn't happened in exactly 20 years. And it's going to continue. So to me, that's the biggest travesty of this entire thing is Gundy had an opportunity here against a very, very, very subpar 500 OU squad that you're across the board better than. And it could have put you in the category of being irreplaceable. Beating OU twice doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But again, if it hasn't happened in over 20 years, it is a big deal. And then the biggest thing, what could have cemented his legacy, in my opinion, in Stillwater, Oklahoma, is if he would have put himself in a position to win 3 in a row, which has never happened. And now, guess what? That can't happen. I made a few videos this last week about how, in my opinion, this was the biggest bedlam of every single one for Gundy, because of the perception it would send to a lot of people, including, unfortunately, recruits, if you bump your head and you screw the pooch completely on this one. The Tennessee Miracle OU pass. That was nice. But again, that's what I'm saying. Brent Venables, he showed up to do what? He coached to win the flipping ball game. For as much as Gundy's done for this university, right, which is masterfully a lot, I would bet you again money that you could count at least. I'm gonna be accurate here so we can trace this back. I would say Gundy has lost at least 8 bedlams due to over conservative play calling. I that's not even. Yeah, I think statistically that is very, very provable. And that's what I'll do for one of these episodes this week is I'll do some of the diving on that. But it's just it's amazing to see how much Gundy poops down his leg. What do I think about who? Gunner Gundy playing? Is that what we mean? OU program will soar in the SEC. This today, unfortunately, might be a kick in the right direction. So OU brought a crap ton, over 65, 75 when you count family recruits to this game, right? And I thought it was a very, very bold move because if they show up and they lay a complete dud, it looks great for us and it looks terrible for them. And they take a big hit recruiting. Other than this stupid light flashing thing, that is the most god-awfully ridiculous, childish thing I have seen OU do ever. That flicker lights thing. That is so I can't say bad words, so I ain't gonna. But it's dumb. But other than that, the recruits got to see a lot of cool stuff today. Yeah, what do I think about Gunnar Gundy? Gunnar Gundy's actually better than people give him credit for. A lot of people don't really know the fact that Gunnar Gundy was the number 2 rated overall quarterback recruit for TCU when he was coming up. So Gunnar Gundy's actually pretty good. I mean, he shattered a bunch of Stiller High School records, and that's going back to people like Josh Fields and Matt Holliday. You know what I mean? So what Gunnar Gundy has done is very good. He is very, very productive. Is he better than Garrett Rangel? No, probably not. Is he better than Zane Flores? No, probably not. Would he start at a Tulsa or an SMU all day, every day? Absolutely. Which means he's good enough to be a game manager for Oklahoma State. But that means we have to have a lot of talent around him for him to equal 9-10 win seasons. That's another thing why this is massively disappointing. If you as a fan question whether 10 wins every single year is the expectation, then I think you're doing as much as a disservice to the university as Mike Gundy is by being this conservative and pooping down his leg so often. How do you see bowl game going? Well, you know, if we'd have won this thing, I think we'd have been on a pretty good track to play Oregon in a big bowl. But, okay, so now this puts us back down into the Alamo Bowl, even lower, possibly Houston Bowl category, which means we're going to end up drawing somebody like maybe a Mississippi State. So State, Mississippi State might be something that's completely doable. OU defense kept them going. I don't know, man. I don't know that I agree with that, to be honest with you. Obviously, film is gonna say a lot as far as, you know, who is in the right place, right time, so on and so forth. But I'm going to put a large portion of this first half on Spencer Sanders. Guys, there might be one time in his entire career at Oklahoma State that he played this bad. This was significantly worse than the Big 12 championship game against Baylor. Significantly worse. And, you know, as these questions keep rolling, keep them coming, guys. I like this. I'm having some fun. I did want to bring up, so as I mentioned earlier, I like to do all of this from a historical slant. And just in case some of y'all didn't know, the biggest difference between OU and OSU, other than the fact that the investment in football, was Oklahoma State University was started to be a farming school because in 1825, the primary resource for the state of Oklahoma was what was called king cotton. And then there was this stupid bug called a boll weevil that came up from Mexico, migrated through Texas, came up in Oklahoma, destroyed a bunch of crops. Yeah. So Oklahoma State University was invented just to teach people how to grow crops and how to kind of keep bugs from screwing up all of their crap. And then on the other side of the coin, OU was started because they needed more doctors, teachers, and lawyers. So the funding from a somewhat independent private, beginning, as opposed to a land-grant university, it did mean that the funding was going to be considerably different, which is why OU focused all of their resources on building a football type of thing, because back then football was an afterthought. People didn't play football. Everybody that was big time back then played in wrestling. So, which is why you see the differentiation in the record. OU scored their points the most scorer, and they figured they Brett Venables just throwing us a bone. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, for TV ratings, right? We gotta kick this thing up a notch. Well, you know what? Thank you, Brett Venables. Hopefully the TV ratings did in fact take a good spike there. Do you think it was just one side of the ball wasn't doing well, or both sides of the ball? I'm going to say one side of the ball. I do think that the defense, they get like a D- for the first half, just off of complacency, almost laziness. Like I actually wrote down. So there was, going all the way back to 9 minutes and 19 seconds into the first quarter, there was 9 times I counted in the first half. In the first half alone, that we had defensive players literally standing or walking while the ball was being snapped. To me, again, that's part of what's inexcusable. But the defense did step up massively in the second half. So all of this, to me, goes on the offense. Even though we did have over 274 yards in the second half, you still gotta put into consideration that the game plan was awful. We knew that we were going to have to find a creative way to rush the ball, and we did not do that. We waited all the way into the fourth quarter before we decided to start using Jaden Nixon on something other than a screen pass. So offensively, if you run the same 12 plays 173,000 times in a matter of 3-4 years, you're going to become predictable. And that's exactly what happened. And the stupid part about it is Gundy talked about it yesterday coming into this game. He mentioned how we don't change a lot. We like to stick with what we do and do the same things. And okay, that's cute, man. But if it doesn't work, what is the point? So here's the funny thing, man. So on my daily Locked On Oklahoma State show, there's only 2 episodes I've had that didn't surpass some of the previous records on like the downloads, which isn't a lot. It's a small channel to begin with, right? But we were just breaking records. And then I made 2 videos where I dared to question Gundy, not his status. I'm not of the camp that Gundy should quit or be fired or even really retire. But I am of the camp that why can't, if you're paying somebody $6, $7, $8 million, why can you not find somebody that can hold the daggone man accountable? How can Chad Weiberg or President Shrum, somebody, not sit this man down and say, hey, Gundy, we're ordering a statue for you, okay? We love you, like you, got you covered, buddy. But this Bedlam record, but it's you got to do something. If Gundy doesn't have some sort of repercussions for this stuff, what's going to ever stop it from continuing to happen? Because, I guess you guys are getting me all hyped up on my Gundy box. I hate getting on my Gundy box because I lose fans over it. But it's the daggone truth. The man has had the same problem, and he's done the same thing over and over and over for 18 years. Like you can legitimately count at least 8-9 times that we have lost a Bedlam game due to 100% decision making. Not talent, not recruiting, not effort, not hustle, not accountability. It's decision making on times where like it doesn't make sense. If you only put Jaden Nixon in the game to run a screen 65% of the time, and then you get a couple, you bust a couple with Jaden Nixon in that screen game, why in God's purple earth are you going to run it like 19 more times? Okay, I'm being slightly sarcastic. He didn't run it 19 more, but he did run it like at least, 8-9 more times? That's a fact, man. Okay, so let's put this into perspective, right? Over $7 million a year, and he can't coach up a good team right. That's fair. The years that we kicked tail and took names, 2011, right after Todd Monken, right after Dana Holgerson left, and Dana Holgerson pretty much got ran out of town because him and Gundy didn't see eye to eye. Because when Gundy would call up and he said, hey guys, I think we should punt here. Dana Holgerson would say, hey, sorry, bro, my headset's not working. I'm just going to chunk it and try to score 65 points. Cool. So they didn't get along. In the following year, Brandon Weeden was able to teach the offense to Todd Monken. So they had such a tight-knit relationship that Gundy couldn't really get in the way, right? Because they had packaging design. They would have 3 or 4 different plays for every single scenario. And so Todd Monken and Brandon Weeden knew what they were going to do before the play even came to fruition. And then after that, we've been really good. Really, really good. But how many times have we got our fingertips on the top of the mountain? The tippy top of the mountain. But we cannot get over the cotton picking thing. And it's, again, I don't think it's fair to assume that it has anything to do with talent or recruiting. How do I feel about the picks? They were all terrible. In the words of the famous Charles Barkley, Spencer Sanders looked terrible, absolutely terrible today. That was Spencer Sanders' worst performance of his career. I think maybe you can dig back again to 2018 and find a game where he maybe looked close. But when you take into consideration that he has been very diligent about cutting down his turnovers this year, pretty good. You know what I mean? He has not been in the turnover machine that he has been over the last few years. And so coming into this game and also being told by the head daggone man himself, Captain fourth quarter punt and field goal, his face away, Mike Gundy said that he felt like Spencer Sanders was at least 80, 85%, almost 90% coming into this game. Those are his words, not mine. I'm not just throwing up random percentages here. That came out of Mike Gundy's mouth. So you're telling me that this dude played better with 2.5, 3 weeks of not practicing than he did with an entire week of preparation with him being healthy? So again, that goes back to the question of, do I think it was both sides of the ball? Nah. I think the defense did what they were supposed to do in the second half. In the first half, they got kind of shell-shocked, right? In famous words of Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. I threw a little Pat McAfee in there too. You got a plan until you get punched in the daggone mouth. And what happened today was OU came out swinging from the very, very, very beginning. We played conservative. We played scared. We played tentative. We didn't play prepared. We got caught rocking on the back of our heels. Offense, what offense? Yeah. We haven't had a humming offense that could just do no wrong and do what they needed to do since 2011. That's the same thing with last year, except for it was on the other side of the ball. Last year, all Spencer Sanders had to do was game manage because our Brandon Weeden was Malcolm Rodriguez. Our Justin Blackman was Devin Harper. That's the difference last year. So you are right. It's a daggone shame that we have to worry about coaching or winning around our coaching. We don't win because of our coaching. We win in spite of our coaching. And again, I hate the fact that this becomes an unpopular take. And I'm sure that, it'll be reflective this time. But at the same time, guys, even though I take a hit every time I, talk about Gundy screwing games by field goals and punts over and over and over, every time I lose downloads or whatever over me bringing it up, I still don't think it's fair for me to ignore it. Right? I don't think it's fair for us as a fan base. Okay, so I view it this way. With Bob Bowlesby being absolutely horrendous at marketing the Big 12 for so long, the reason that OU in Texas grew so successful in recruiting was due primarily to marketing and previous success. Yeah. But even if you take out the previous success, the marketing of their brands was already big time. We have to be able to market Oklahoma State University by a historical and knowledgeable perspective, in my opinion. We have to do our part, because in order for us to grow and to be the crown bearer of the Big 12, which is starting to take a big hit now, I think coming into the season, the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, it was hands down very evident that Oklahoma State was going to be the team that kind of led the direction of the Big 12. It's taken a half a season to nosedive that doggone thing. We don't need an offense. Oh wait, we kind of do. You're right. It's kind of important, these points. I don't know why they make them a necessity, but these touchdowns and okay. So guys, bright side, huh? We are really good at our favorite play in the playbook, which is the punt. I mean, even our backup punter is gangster. Maybe instead of throwing the ball, we need that's what we need. We need a recruiter that can get us a pooch punting quarterback. Could you imagine? Like a 13-step drop and then pow, punt it. 3rd down. Why not? Because, Gundy likes to gamble with timeouts and shit. Who knows? I'm pretty much just count Bedlam as a loss every year. Yeah, that's what sucks, man. And that's why later on, right? I got on a Texas show earlier and I didn't get butthurt, but people kept calling us Okie Light. I hate that crap. But you can't get rid of the little brother connotation if you just keep getting your head bashed in. Right? Okay. Today was like, if this was an MMA match, this is a game that we have a black belt and jiu-jitsu, and we have a black belt and daggone Muay Thai, okay? And you have a professional boxing record, yeah? And you go up against a dude that's an up-and-coming amateur, but you're a professional, and he's an amateur, and you've got years of training, and you let this dude dog walk you. That's what today felt like. We were the better team. I did a position-by-position breakdown. So you had Danny Stutzman, 91 tackles. Yes, you're probably going to take him over Xavier Benson. I'll give you that. Mason Cobb not only has 77 tackles, but he's also number 2 in the Big 12 in tackles for loss. So do you take him over like a David Uwegbu? I would say absolutely. Quarterback, we were supposed to win that battle. You're supposed to be able to take Spencer Sanders, almost 3,000 yards of total offense, number 1 in the Big 12 total offense, over the guy who's number 3 in the Big 12 in total offense, and Dylan Gabriel. You both missed some time. You're both fairly comparable, but we're supposed to win that battle. Wide receiver, you would take Marvin Mims over Braden Johnson. Yeah, possibly. But every other receiver on the board, would you take Drake Stoops over John Paul Richardson? No. Would you take Drake Stoops over Brennan Presley? No. Would you take Theo Weiss or Jalil Farouk over Bryson Green or Jaden Bray? No. Speaking of Jaden Bray, instead of letting him get into a rhythm of the game, what did we do the entire first quarter? Throw it at Jaden Bray. 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 Stoops. No, you ain't taking Stoops over John Paul Richardson and Brennan Presley. I mean, you would if you're an OU fan because his last name's Stoops. I'll give you that. But not for me. So coming into this game, Stoops had 222 yards, and John Paul Richardson had 430 yards, and Brennan Presley had 574 yards coming into this game. So even statistically speaking, no, you're not going to take Stoops over them two. Come on now. When's the last time OSU's favored to win Bedlam? No, I think if I recall last year, we were like a 2.5 underdog, even at home. I'm pretty sure we were the dog last year. It was by less than a field goal, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Kicking field goals when you're down by freaking 20 some odd points. It's inexcusable. You said unacceptable. That's fair. To me, the better word's inexcusable. Like, you cannot get on the daggone podium and have a press conference and just give the same old run of the mill. Oh, I didn't have them prepared, and I had my thumb up my we just everything was come on, man. I hate it. I don't hate. No, I do hate losing. Okay, it's not that. I don't necessarily dislike every time we lose, right? There's sometimes you just got to tip your cap. The other team played better, X, Y, and Z. But to lose because of the same things over and over and over again, that's the frustrating part. Yeah, Mike's trying to coach like we're in the 90s. That's fair. He is. And the biggest thing, he coaches like we're up by 25 points every single game. All right, Dakota. Thank you for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. You made it fun. Yeah. Well, and I agree. It doesn't matter how much talent we have if Gundy's going to continue to be this conservative and play his favorite players, blah blah blah, and BEDLAM. That's fair. That's actually beyond fair. And to me, it goes even a layer deeper because I think it's applicable to the offensive coordinator too. I think I've made this comment before. It doesn't matter if we run off and get Bill Belichick to be the offensive coordinator. And if we get Bill Belichick to come to Stillwater, Oklahoma, what does it matter if Mike Gundy's going to get on the headset and say, hey, we're punting here. Hey, we're going to kick a field goal here. Hey, we're not going to go for it on fourth here. Hey, 3rd and 18, let's run it up the middle. That's my issue. I don't think it matters if we had the reincarnation of Bear Bryant come up out of the ground. Gundy's still going to do his lovely little overrides. And to me, that's why. It's not only why we have to go find an offense coordinator from Shippensburg State University, but he also does that on purpose. He gets people from the Shippensburg State Universities and the Princetons because why? Because he has veto power. He has the power to say, again, we're punting, we're field goal kicking, or whatever. Yeah, what does it say to the players when you pull that crap? It says that you're going to give a lot of effort, but not like all of your effort. That's what that says to me. If I'm a player, and I'm sitting on the sidelines, and if I can sit on the bench and say, goodness me, if we kick a field goal here, I'm gonna throat punch Gundy, and then we kick a field goal. As a player, it is demoralizing. Just like you can carry positivity from one game to the next, right? You can take good things from one game, bring it into the next game. It goes the same in reverse, right? The negativity that can be brought in is the same. And I guess, unfortunately, we just have to be realistic and understand that we beat Iowa State because our defense showed up in the second half and they're very inept offensively. That's the thing as fans. Well, not even as fans. That's the problem. I feel like obviously a large portion of us are being reasonable and diagnosing the issue of this being repetitive and this being something that happens every single year. There's a few things in life you can guarantee: death, taxes, and Gundy kicking enough field goals and punting enough times to lose BEDLAM. It's funny that we somehow find a way to squeak out all of these Texas W's. And so actually, I want to hear from you, some of y'all's perspective. Why does Gundy keep getting a pass for losing a game or two a year every single year just because of fourth quarter decision making and literally nothing else? Again, not injuries, not talent, not recruiting, not discipline, not hustle, not play calling. None of that. It's always decision making. Why do we keep giving him a pass as a fan base? And goodness me, I didn't drink whiskey on purpose so I would not get into this Gundy thing, because I catch a lot of flack for it. But it's the truth. I don't understand why we catch heat for saying stuff that is statistically 100% provable and verifiable. Yeah, that's a good point. No, you're not losing. Spencer Sanders and Gundy get a chance to go for it. Again, I think that's The only reason Spencer returns next year, it better be the only reason Spencer Sanders returns next year, is if he does have that come to Jesus meeting with Mike Gundy and say, listen, home skillet, let me do what you let Whedon and Monken do in 2011. Let me make some decisions. Let me decide sometimes when we're going to punt. Let me decide sometimes when we're going to go for it. Let me decide to not run it up the gut on 3rd and 22. Right? It used to be cute when we'd run Kendall Hunter on 3rd and 22, surprise everybody. But it's a different day and age. That was a time when we were always fighting for 7 wins, legitimately speaking. So a 7-8 win season was a big deal back then. It was. So you could be cutesy tootsy and get away with it. But when you're a top dog playing he's not even a top dog. That's the sad part. When you're the top dog playing other big time teams, you can't lay complete poop fests like that. All right, Connor. Thank you, bud. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. Honestly, some of the OU people that hopped on this thing made this thing a lot of fun. I'm going to do this all day, every day. This is how I earn my living. That's how I get my paychecks. So I enjoy the back and forth. I enjoy spreading not only the history of O State, but just being factual about it, right? If we can't be honest with ourselves as a fan base, then I don't think it's fair for anybody to ever expect Gundy to do anything different. Yeah, not being able to run the ball, that's because we're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. We're trying to run a zone blocking scheme with running backs that want to punch you in the mouth. That doesn't work. In the history of football, the whole purpose of the zone blocking scheme is to find open field, right? You're looking for green grass. Your Kendall Hunters, your Dontrell Savages, your Tatum Bells. You're looking for grass. The rest of our running back crew is a bunch of Keith Tostons. Well, Keith Toston trying to cut back and look for a bunch of grass? No. Keith Toston was trying to run your ass over. That's what we have a lot of. The one kind of scat back that we do have is Jaden Nixon. And as you saw today, what Jaden Nixon can do with the ball is pretty incredible. Problem is, Jaden Nixon doesn't get the ball enough. And when he does get the ball, it's so predictable because 65% of the time when he's on the field, it's only for a screen. So yeah, the predictability and the obsession, the absolute obsession with pissing a game or two away by just over conservative play calling and decision making, it's mind-boggling. I don't get it. Pat Gundy. Put Gundy and get a coach that has 0. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, but he does. Sonny Dykes coaches to win. Guys, Sonny Dykes coaches to win. Dave Aranda coaches to win. Brent Venables coaches to win. We are the only team in the Big 12 that settles for more field goals than scoring opportunities. Like, we're the most settling ass team in the Big 12. So I actually do have here. Let me write you down. So I have another channel, but for paycheck purposes, obviously I need to put a large portion of my football and basketball content on here. But my other channel, so that's actually how I started doing this stuff, was just all historical. I was again covering everything from 1825 all the way to inception in 1895. So OU, again, beat us to the punch. They became an official university December 19th of 1895. And then we followed suit on Christmas Day in a Guthrie warehouse, December 25th, 1895 as well. And again, so they were, ours was for a farming specific and military. So one thing a lot of people don't know, part of why we had the Aggies, you see the A&M Aggies now, and they have all the dudes in the uniforms. So if Oklahoma State would have stuck with some of the military programming we had going on in the late 1890s, we would look a lot like Texas A&M, realistically speaking. And then we originally adopted the moniker of the Aggies from that same concept. But before that, back in 1895, we had a very prominent staff member whose father was president of Princeton at the time. So we got our colors, orange and black, from Princeton, and we're actually called the Princeton of the Prairie. So we were the Oklahoma A&M Tigers, and we were orange and black. Obviously, being in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, while you're trying to figure out how to prevent the boll weevil bug from destroying all your crops, didn't make a lot of sense. Not a lot of tigers roaming around in Oklahoma. Well, until the Tiger King, of course. But before Mr. Tiger King, wasn't a big calling for a tiger to be living down in Oklahoma. So yeah, we adopted the moniker of the Aggies, kept that for quite some time, and then we kept a lot of the military stuff, but we did do a major shift focally from that to the agricultural mechanical side of things. Yeah, dude, I love that stuff. And I'll get you some content and I'll get you some links. Hit me your, what's your Twitter? Hit me with your Twitter. Is that Burns? Okay. From back here, it looked like Bums 23 there for a second. Yeah, I got videos on all that stuff, man. I've got little snippets. I have a story. I go back to, let's see. So 1945. Everybody wants to get all up in arms about the 1945 national championship thing. So I'll admit, when it first happened, I was part of the fan base that was like, oh, that's super stupid. It's very childish. Why are we doing that? It looks ridiculous. So when we were putting up the national championship 1945 thing, I was originally not a massive fan. But this is where the history is super, super cool. And I think this is our part as fans, is I feel like I can help spread the knowledge of Oklahoma State University, which is going to help with marketing eventually as I get a bit bigger footprint predicated upon some of the historical stuff. But yeah, so 1945, after you do the research, it wasn't us. It wasn't like Oklahoma State University raised their hand one day to the NCAA and was like, hey, we'd really like a national championship. So if you could just like give us one, oh, that'd be so cool. That didn't happen. The American Football Coaches Association statistically did a deep dive back into all of the stats from back then. And they realized not only was the statistical analysis completely screwed up. So check this out. This is my favorite stat. From 1945, not only did we lose the national championship according to the voters, but it got found out later that 80% of all the voters for the Heisman and national title and all that fun jazz, they all lived on the East Coast. Guys, football didn't matriculate until the Midwest and South until the late 1890s. You got to take into consideration, why does Princeton have 15 national championships, and Yale has 18 national championships? So Yale has 18, Princeton has 15, and then Alabama's stuck in the middle there at 16. Are you going to sit here trying to tell me that Yale and Princeton are better than Alabama? No, but all the voting and all the football that was being played was there. So nobody got to ever see Bob Fenimore. Bob Fenimore, by himself, single-handedly, had 1,641 yards by himself. Doc Blanchard was the running back for Army. He won the Heisman at 722 yards. And then the number 2 in voting was Glenn Davis, his backfield mate at Army, who actually had 930 yards. So the second place guy got more yards than the first place guy, but they played together on the same team in the same backfield on the same Army squad that won the national title. The AFCA corrected all of that. And then they gave Army multiple opportunities to dispute the fact that they were going to give the national title to Oklahoma State because everybody screwed the pooch back then voting. And the Army still to this day is refusing to help or cooperate with providing any statistical analysis that says otherwise. They knew and to be honest with you, that really is only the AFCA making up for a slight portion, because I think that a large portion of the fan base, I know me, I would rather have Bob Fenimore get that Heisman than have that national title, because that's the real wrong that needs to be written, but it can't be, right? So because they screwed the pooch so bad back then, and nobody saw Bob Fenimore play the game of football, they at least made the national title thing right. They can't do anything about the Heisman, so it is what it is. So as a complimentary trophy, we will take the national title. But yeah, even got some of the respect for OU is super cool. Yeah, back in 1897, they were investing. They actually hired Vernon Parrington to come in early 1900s. Vernon Parrington played over in the East Coast, brought it to Kansas. Another fun fact people don't know. So when OU first started their football program, it wasn't for students. It was for people who lived in the town. It was your regular townsfolk. So your Tom, Dick, and Harry that worked at the barber shop, after he's done cutting hair, he'd go play football for the University of Oklahoma. And another fun fact, we're losing people, so I guess it might be time to go. But just so y'all know, OU originally started off as the Norman Territorial University Rough Riders and Boomers. And what people don't know is OU celebrates the fact that, I think everybody does know, that the moniker Sooners is because the people that cheated and they snuck in overnight to claim land around the Norman Territory before the land rush. And it was actually former railroad employees. I think it was Santa Fe. It was Santa Fe Railroad Company. So there was a line that went through the Norman Territory, and they knew they could sneak over there in the middle of the night because they'd been running that train through that territory for such a long amount of time. And it was far enough away from Guthrie that they wouldn't really get in trouble. So Sooners comes from being a flippin' cheater, for one, and secondarily, a boomer. If you look back, historically speaking, boomer came from a group of individuals that lived outside of the Indian Territory, that they would send raiding parties in the Indian Territory, and they would raid these Indian camps in order to put enough pressure on the president to make it to where it wasn't a protected Indian Territory, to make it, what was it called? Dagnabbit. I can't remember that, but not unobstructed territory, but maybe somebody can help me. Anyways, they named it something to where, it wasn't basically that big of a deal. But those boomers, to get that land away from the natives, they kept doing raiding parties. They wanted to make it so hectic and unsafe that it forced the president to make it open territory. And that's actually exactly what happened. The president did do that. And that was actually before the Morrill Act of 1862. That all this stuff was kind of already in the workings. Yeah, dude, I love this stuff. This historical stuff to me is so much fun. And why I think it's good for Oklahoma State University, it's good for the fan base, and it's good to even have knowledge of OU. Like, the reason it's called Owen Field is because one of their first big-time coaches that you could say was on the national landscape in the later 1907. Yeah, they already had Benny Owen at that time, and that was before we hired our first big-time coach. But what's funny with OSU is we would also be the players. So all the way up until like 1907, 1908, they would have the quarterback would also be the head coach. There was times that the defensive end would also kind of be the head coach. But there's a true story. So for you, especially likes the historical side of it. OU played a game in Guthrie, and this was 1896. It might have been 1895. I think it was 1896. But OU played a game in Guthrie, okay, against Kingfisher College, which used to be a university or a college in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Obviously, it got disbanded years and years and years ago, but Kingfisher College met up with OU, or the Norman Territorial University Rough Riders and Boomers, in 1896 in Guthrie. And because football, and I don't have a Discord. To be honest with you, I don't know what that is. bro, I just started all this stuff like a couple months ago, and it snowballed so quick. I started the OSU channel just to have historical perspectives like this, and within a week, I got the job with Locked On Oklahoma State. To be honest with you, like I knew that I didn't have the resume of having the professional journalism background that a lot of people had. So I knew that the competition for the Oklahoma State Locked On network was going to be kind of difficult to obtain. So instead of sending a resume that had nothing to do with being a journalist, because I am learning on the fly, I just created a channel and I hit it from this historical perspective. And I love every minute of it. So I don't know what this Discord is. If it's something I need to get, let me know. I'll get it. I'm gonna figure all this out. But anyway, so yeah, 1896. There's a game going on in Guthrie against Kingfisher College, and local sheriffs show up because football again was not really a known thing. And yeah, so the sheriff shows up and he's trying to break it up because he thinks it's a massive fight in the middle of nothing field. And guys, remember, this is back when touchdowns were creeks and fake dirt roads. There was no yard markers. There was no first downs. There was no sidelines per se. You know what I mean? But so the sheriff shows up to shut it all down. And then he has to be explained for a long time that this is not a fight. This is actually a sport. And there's a constructive way that they're doing this. And then so to restart the game, the sheriff fired a gun, which does have kind of a direct tie into how, you know, the gun is used to start track meets and football games and things of that nature. That story is true, and it comes from OU in 1896. So OU in 1896 is partially responsible for the shooting of the gun to start events. Oh, thank you, man. Like I said, I love this stuff. This is, again, thankfully, this is how I make my living, but to me, just the historical side of it is just so flippin' fun. Like stuff like that is cool. And like Burns is saying, the Creek story, that's flippin' cool. Well, we're getting a few more people on here. For y'all that don't know, this is my favorite. When you catch, OU fans give you a lot of crap. Maybe before this game, this one hurts, y'all. This one hurts real bad. But on paper, on record, certifiably, the first game that OU ever had was against Oklahoma City High School. It's a true story. And they lost 64-0. So OU's first official game as a college football team, they lost to Oklahoma City High School 64-0. Now, there is a publication or two that has it listed as 34-0. But if you look back historically, there's actually a lot of evidence that points to it being a 64-0 nothing or loss. So if you catch a bunch of crap from OU fans, as we're going to, and deservedly so, it's fun to have some of this in our holster, I guess you could say. Why does it hurt every year? Okay, it's because Oklahoma State fans care more than most. Right? That's not a homer statement. That is beyond true. Oklahoma State fans, due to its inability to be very, very good in football for such a long time, Oklahoma State fans had to do what? We had to love the university. We had to love the campus. We had to love the people around it. We had to love wrestling and baseball and basketball and Gallagher Hall being built. And the first library being built. Like, we had to be invested in that stuff. Why? Because we wasn't winning a bunch of national titles in football. Now, again, was football popular in the late 1890s, the early 1900s? No. Another fun story. So that game where the sheriff had to come, it's true. OU players and some of the players from Kingfisher College as well, they didn't really have like pads, obviously, at all. But they wanted to protect themselves because, getting your face kicked in, literally, is not fun. So they tried to protect themselves. So I can't remember if it was either elbow guards or knee. It was elbow guards. There was dudes that were using metal stove piping as elbow guards in 1896 and 1904. 1904 when OU had the contest preseason against Friends University. That's where I went. That's where I played little college ball. Friends University, Central Kansas. Go Falcons. In 1904, there was an oratory contest, which means like a debate. And there was more people that showed up for the oratory contest than the football game. The football game was used as like a circus back then to pump up the debates, the oratory contests. Football in its inception was not popular. And again, OSU didn't invest money until coaching until 1907. We didn't really get good for a long time. I would say Jim Lookaball, late 1930s, early 1940s, going into the 1945 national championship season. 1944, we were insanely talented as well. So 1917, that was the year that, so I don't know if you guys know, but the Bedlam Trophy has always been the bell, right? And you see it all. It used to be a crystal bell, and before that it was a metal bell, and yada, yada, yada. First Bedlam was 03. Oh, yeah, dude, you missed 2001 and 2002. Matter of fact, that's last time we went back-to-back wins. It was 01 in Norman, which is Rashawn Woods, the catch in the end zone with 1:34 left on the clock. And then the following season was where you get the saying that Rashawn's still open because we put an absolute thumping on him. Josh Fields had a field day, pun intended. But yeah, so the Bedlam Trophy is the bell. So from very early on, all the way to 1917, there wasn't really much of a contest. From like 1902 to like 1914, we scored 0 points. And then in 1917, we finally win Bedlam. And for some reason, we'd been playing in Stillwater and Norman for quite some time already. But for some reason, I couldn't find. 1917, we played our game in Oklahoma City. And while the game was going on, OU students were already on campus in Stillwater. They climbed up in the bell. They stole the bell tower bell, right? Took it back to campus in Norman. And there was just a big, massive fight over it for years. And then at some point in time, in the early 1931, I think we snuck back into OU's campus and supposedly got the bell, brought it back to Stillwater. And then OU told us that, you grabbed the wrong bell. They had the actual bell from OSU's campus hidden somewhere. And then eventually in 1963, both universities, OU and OSU, came to an agreement that they would start using the bell as the championship trophy for Bedlam. So the Bedlam Trophy started in 1897. Another fun fact people don't really know is Oklahoma State University, we did not start the rivalry. The rivalry started back in 1897 to 1901, and it was because of a wrestling match. And no, it was 1897. It was in football. That's right. They came out with a daggone song, and it said the hullabaloo, all that fun jazz to start off with. And then it gets into, it goes something like still water, stale water. It's a muddy water slough. So they were calling Stillwater a muddy, nasty, dirty, raunchy place in 1897. So we didn't start the rivalry. They did. So when they act like this big brother thing, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it hurts every year. No, I agree completely, Ruben. 100%. 100% agreed. That's exactly what half of my damn videos this last week. Oh, I said a bad word. Darn it. Okay, half of my videos this last week were about, you could see some of the writing on the wall of this being comparable to that 01, 02, 02 stretch. I couldn't agree more. And we screwed the pooch. Guys, Les Miles was not a great coach by any stretch of imagination in Stillwater. Now, he did do quite a few things to kind of help us get to that next tier. But at least the dude had major cojones. And he was very brash, bold, and non-apologetic about his stance on Bedlam. He hated OU, and he openly talked about it, and it was awesome. And his game plans for Bedlam were phenomenal. And he expected the team to come out and fight like there's no tomorrow. What is that? I don't want that. Hot girls. What? I guess I'm getting spammed. I don't think I'm going to this hot girls waiting here porn site, guys. Sorry, not gonna happen. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? Dude, so actually, I have some convo with Tatum Bell here and there. I think that there's a very, very good likelihood I'll be able to get him on this show. Yeah, that caught me off guard. It was like football. Yeah, 1917. Yeah, wait. Hot girls wanting what? Waiting, huh? It's all right. It's a good little distraction. I love how college football and getting your face kicked in the biggest rivalry game of the year equates to 69XXX life. Bah, 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 bah. I'm good. I'll stick to my football stuff. Yeah. Instagram, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know from a not legality perspective, but I don't know what the right word. I don't think I can promote all of my other stuff while I'm on the clock, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. Don't have a Twitter. Yeah, Instagram. So my Instagram is O State all day, as is my Facebook. My Twitter is all day O State. My Facebook is O State all day. And my Instagram is also O State all day. So I try to keep it pretty simplistic. Yeah, definitely hit me up. Yeah, I love it. I love Oklahoma State. I've been a diehard, obviously, my whole life. I've got OSU tattoos. Me and my dad started going. He started taking me games in the early '90s. Got season tickets in the mid to late '90s. One of my favorite stories is Kenyatta Wright, running off the field back in 1997. He throws his wristbands up to me and my brother. And me and my brother was playing flag football, and we wore those. And they took up like our whole arm. They didn't fit. I remember we had to put, what did I use? Yeah, I cut socks. And I used socks as padding so I could get the sleeve to somewhat stay. I played quarterback with this thing on my arm. I'm sitting there, flag football, little kid, letting it launch with this ridiculous wristband that was like this long. And as a kid, it took up my entire arm. It was ridiculous, but I would not play without it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's capital O, capital S, lowercase t, lowercase a, lowercase t, lowercase e, capital A, lowercase L, capital D, lowercase a, lowercase y. Yeah, O State all day. Capital OS, kind of like the interlocking OS type thing. My son is a KU fan. He's telling myself to pick him. No, come on, man. Hey, you know what? It could be worse. My son, my oldest son, he's getting recruited pretty decent for baseball, and his dreams to go to O State, right? But he's a realist, right? And Oklahoma State baseball right now, we primarily recruit power. We like 6'6" dudes that weigh 250 pounds. We like to have a team full of Matt Holidays. Sorry. So my son is very realistic. Yeah, definitely not a student fan. Where's my phone? So let me see if I have it. Instagram. Anyways, sorry for that. My son is very realistic, yeah? So The other day, he comes to me and he tells me that if it doesn't end up that he gets to go to OSU, that he is more than happy to go to TCU or Texas Tech to play baseball. Let's see my Instagram search. Okay, what's your Instagram, boss? Is the same thing? Burns23. Yeah, if my son was a hardcore OU fan, I'd probably give him up for adoption too. I think that's very fair. My Instagram. Who knows? I'm trying to look at my. Oh, it is. Is that my? It is my actual name. Okay, I'm so sorry. So I was wrong. My Instagram, it appears to be. Okay, it is. Username OState AD. It's all undercase on Instagram. Name Cody Stovall. Username OState AD. My bad. It shows you how much I get on Instagram. Hey, I'm working on this whole technological social media side of things. I'll get it figured out. You're a Tom Brady fan. That's not fair. See, that's just too easy, right? Being a Tom Brady fan is like being a Dallas Cowboys fan in the 90s. It don't make no daggone sense because it's just too easy, man. Make life a little bit more difficult on yourself. Cheer for Tom Brady. It doesn't take any effort. Oh, he's a Tom Brady fan. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I went to the school for kids who can't read good, apparently. But, yeah, your son's a Tom Brady fan. Okay, that's fair. That's different. It's different. Let's see. New follower. Is that you on Instagram, boss man? Sweet. Here we go. I'm following people back. Oh, I'm going to mess around and find out what I'm doing here on Instagram now. Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you. I greatly appreciate you. Yeah, go ahead. I'll read your message. Cool. There we go. Yeah, I'll get you hooked up. Brother. Awesome. All right, guys. We got anything else to throw at me? Any more questions, comments, concerns before we skedaddle on out of here? To close it out, I think it's just, again, this is 100% inexcusable. I'm adopting TCU. Absolutely, man. I've been saying for a couple weeks, if you're an O State fan and you're not cheering on the daggone Horny Toads, you're doing yourself in the conference a disservice. We should all be massive TCU fans for the rest of the season. We need to have somebody get into the CFP that is not OU. Because the negative connotation that OU has kind of, they've put up themselves as the king of the conference for a long time. And they're a representative for the Final Four. Yes. But they put a black eye on the conference as well with how many times they kind of let it slide. So we need to get somebody else in there. Even if TCU loses, guys, I think it's good for the conference if we just get them in. So, yeah, I'm adopting TCU 100%. I adopted K-State to start the year, and then I ended up regretting that because I really thought that if we took care of business today and they dropped a couple games, we'd have a shot at the Big 12 title. I apologize for drinking a little bit too much of the orange Kool-Aid, apparently, on that one. Yeah, I did see the TCU game. That finish was crazy. So, I said I was getting off here, so I will. But let's look at that. Would Oklahoma State, would we be able to pull that off? Okay. You take this team, this coach staff, all the whole exact same scenario. Would we be able to get an entire 11 dudes off the field, a new 11 dudes, so a 22-man switch, would we be able to do that on the fly with the clock running with under 13 seconds to go and still get that kickoff? Not in a million, right? Oh yeah, unless it was a field goal. We love those. Sonny Dykes deserves a lot of credit, a lot of kudos. What he's done in a year, amazing. Just like Lance Leipold, what he's been able to do in 2 years, less than 2 years, really, a year and a half of spring training camp type of thing. It's insane. And again, so we love Gundy, and we should. But this has been a 15, 16-year building, right? The first couple of years obviously was rough, but the last 15, 16 years, it's built up to this. And now we have the best 2 deep that we've ever had in the history of football at Oklahoma State. Not even close. And it took us 15 years to get here. Why is KU doing it in 2 years? Why is Chris Kleiman doing it in 3, 4 years? Why is Dave Aranda doing it in 2 years? Why is Sonny Dykes doing it in 1 year? And we're on year 18. Again, I find the coaching and decision making today completely inexcusable. Some way, somehow, somebody has to answer for this. There has to be accountability. Like legitimately, like I would have Coach Dickey and Coach McAdoo and maybe even Coach Dunn, and maybe even myself if I'm Coach Gundy. Maybe we should all just hitchhike back to Stillwater. We should have 72 miles of the Heel Toe Express with our Lamborghinis to figure out what went wrong. Because it's insanity. And it happens every year. And we love him so much, we always give him a pass because he's daggone Gundy. Anywho, so I typically do a Sunday Fun Day show. Tomorrow, I'll get to do a Sunday Not So Fun Day show. And we'll break down a lot of this stuff that we've covered. So if you're busy, I get it. But I'm going to cover some of this. I'm going to go into some other stuff as well. Obviously, we'll get into some of the conversations about the film side of things. I don't know that I'll go over all the film tomorrow. I typically do that on Monday. But who knows? All I know is I will have a show tomorrow on this Locked On Oklahoma State show, and it'll be the Sunday Not So Fun Day show. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm glad this thing got kind of rocking and rolling here. I think that this is a game where heads should roll. He is too comfortable. That's 100% right. That is it. He has the keys to the kingdom. He can go anywhere on campus, do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He never had the ability to walk into Mike Holder's office and say, hey, I think we should do something. Gundy now has that ability. He has an open door policy with Chad Weiberg, which is something he never, ever, ever had with Holder and Boone Pickens. So, yeah, he's never going to get this treatment anywhere else. Even if you hear about him flirting with the Nebraska type of job, which there may be some smoke to, I don't think he's going to do it. He likes the control too much. He likes being the guy too much, in my personal opinion. But he had his opportunities to go and bounce, and he didn't do it. Yeah, dude, you got to laugh. If you can't find a way to find the positives in all this, then you're just going to have a miserable existence. Not as miserable as being a KU football fan, but somewhat comparable as much as it tears your heart out. I would love to say we got basketball, but we just got UCF'd in the Bahamas. So, yeah, see, again, tomorrow, Sunday Not Fun Day show, because we got to cover that loss in basketball too. Women's basketball, huh? How about that? Men's cross-country team came up 0.02 seconds away from a national championship in cross-country. So that had been official sanctioned NCAA national title number 52 by 0.02 seconds. Tell me that's not a direct reflection of how this flipping week has been. Boynton doing his best Gundy impersonations. Yeah. What's the deal with O State basketball recruiting? Travis Ford, recruit like a madman. Mike Boynton can recruit like nobody's business. But from an X's and O's type of perspective, we just can't, I don't know, we just can't figure it out. And we clearly just can't out-talent everybody. So it is what it is. Yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by. This ended up being a lot of fun. It went a lot longer than I anticipated. But as you can tell, I love what I do. I get into it, and I study this stuff. You could say religiously, because again, I like to have fun. I like to be accurate. I like to spread the news so we can help Marquette, Oklahoma State. Absolutely. Good night to you all. I greatly appreciate you all stopping by. Tune in tomorrow to hear my Sunday Not So Funday show. We'll break down some of the stats and some of the situations that we completely screwed the pooch and got an East press conference. All right. Love you all. God bless. Go Pokes. Stay positive. Something's going to get right. Hopefully we have a national Stillwater America Firing People Day real soon. Until tomorrow, see you guys later.